Once there was a hunter who saw what others could not. With a magic case in her backpack, she roamed with wild abandon into the great unknown. Her gaze inescapable, her reflexes lightning fast. When armies swarmed, she went through. With eyes open wide, hands steady, holding, watching, capturing everything in sight.
The Crucial Pro DDR5 RAM kit comes with a sleek, modern look that will complement any build. But aesthetics aside, it's the performance that really matters. So let's dive into it. The default JEDEC timings are 46, 45, 45, but it does come with 2 XMP and Expo settings for those looking for a little more performance. With XMP 3.0 Profile 1, you can push the speed up to 5600 megatransfers per second. If you prefer a slightly lower speed but tighter timings, Profile 2 offers 5200 megatransfers per second at 42, 42, 42 timings. We've run some benchmarks and stress tests to give you an idea of how it performs. In general, dropping the speed and tightening the timings with the second XMP/Expo profile yielded better results for us on our test system. Paired with a Ryzen 7800X 3D, we saw anywhere from a 1 to 5% performance bump depending on workloads. All in all, the Crucial Pro DDR5 64GB RAM kit by Micron is a fantastic choice for first-time builders and enthusiasts alike.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Hope you all are doing good. You guys are watching the Esports Club Showdown Series Season 7 for Valorant, powered by Crucial by Micron and our media partner, Gossip.gg. It's going to be me, Auzora Aiden, alongside Baba Gusta. Baba Gusta, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing absolutely well, man. I mean, I'm really excited though, especially for Season 7 on Showdown, where, we had a lot of matches towards qualifiers. Now we're down to 8 teams, and these 8 teams are going to fight out for the grand prize, Auzora. So it's amazing.
It's amazing to witness all the action as well, especially all of these underdogs, the way they have been performing. Man, trust me, I have enjoyed all of the seasons. The 7th one being a blockbuster already. We have all the studios and everything. And you know, it's super excitement. It's the excitement that's in the air currently alongside the winter. But yeah, talking about the teams and the way they're going to perform all together, I'm super amped and pumped as well.
Well, it is Season 7 after all, so there is bound to have stories, there's bound to have rivalries.
Exactly.
What's most important is that the goal of reaching towards the grand finals that could end up bringing in even more stories in the near future. So there's a lot of things that could come up right in stores. But for now, I believe we need to, check out the tournament formats as well, right? See how well the things are going out, especially in the showdown. So let's take a look at the tournament format as well. See the amount of journey that these players have to go through all the way up to open qualifiers just to get a spot on the playoffs.
Open qualifiers just got over. From 10th to 14th is what we could see all of that action. But now is the playoffs time. It's the BO3 season, and all of this time is going to be that one single thing to prove that they are the best teams entering towards the grand finals. Of course, it's going to happen on 22nd December. But here's a twist, right? We all see BO3s and coming in playoffs, but in grand finale, it's going to be a BO5.
Yeah, let's take a look at the prize pool as well, in which these 8 teams will be fighting for a total prize pool of 1 lakh INR. The first place will receive a total of 5,000 rupees, second place with 30,000 rupees, and of course, third place with 20,000 rupees. So there's a huge prize pool, especially at the season 7 of this Showdown series. It's going to be an amazing one. It's going to be a lot of tensed moments that could happen in this Valorant series. And for these 8 teams who have just secured the playoffs, I wish them the best of luck.
Well, yes, 8 teams in total. From all the way from open qualifiers to playoffs. It's a big journey altogether. And in this journey, I have seen multiple teams embark it and then get derailed. But now they have that opportunity, they have the option in order to go ahead, perform their best, and at any given chance, if there's any mistake, they have that safety cushion. That's right. Lower bracket round 1 is what they're going to enter towards. But talking about the upper bracket quarterfinals, these are the 8 teams right in front of us.
Yes, we have teams like 10-7, The Covenant, Untitled, ZEROFRAGS, ZEROFRAGS.EXE, AMIGOS ESPORts, 120frag, and of course, last but not the least, Asterix. These 8 teams will be fighting for their grand final spot in the playoffs. And the first match that we're going to have will be none other than ZEROFRAGS.EXE versus AMIGOS ESPORts. That will be the first match for today here.
Indeed. And let me just highlight it out there to all the audience out there that Asterix have won season 6. They're the ex-champions. And they're hailing victorious with the way they're just going ahead and unleashing their potential against all of these teams. They have a big potential yet again to prove themselves to get that 7th one on board as well. But in the midst of all of that, I'm expecting that this time the competition is going to be much more greater rather than seeing a 3-0 in a grand final.
Especially for a team like Asterix, why just win one when you can dominate the entire scene and just show your presence known? That's exactly what Asterix is trying to do. They're not just here for the prize pool. They are here to show that there is a scene in Indian esports. They are here to show that we have the talent to show in this scene, and we are here to deliver it in the Showdown series.
Well, of course, but talking about the level of leaderboard as well, where things will change frequently. We all have witnessed the entirety of first season to the 6th season, and all of these stats are based upon that. But the 7th season, once it commences, that is today, we're gonna see a lot of changes. But Doxer, up till now, he has been dominating throughout all of these games. My man is sitting up there with 53 maps played, and the performance itself speaks volumes. Alongside Ceylon, yes, he does go in with a deadly duelist of his alongside Caramel. Wherever Caramel is there, it's gonna be all Hail Mary. So top 3 players, mind you guys, are gonna get right goodies. And this is for sure a perfect thing to go ahead and achieve, because you have the bragging rights. Once you enter inside the lobby, you have something different. People ask you, so you're gonna be the center of attention.
Yeah. And the leaderboard definitely proves that. It's not just about, players receiving right gear goodies, right? They're also about to showcase their talents.
Exactly.
Especially through those leaderboards with that amazing stats that we do get to see here from Dox's end. I had a friend who used to call him as Dozer, and he had a specific line for it. And he used to say, "Make way for the Dozer." And it's basically a line that my friend used to say most of the time. He's a huge fan of Dozer, by the way. He likes Dozer. He used to be a co-caster. His name was Blackjack. And he was a really old friend of mine. And the way how, Dozer, I think it's Doxer. Is it Doxer or Dozer? Because I like to call him Dozer because the amount of impactful plays he delivers is really amazing. And I'm really glad to see him on the top of the leaderboards.
Well, hands down, and such kind of performances are always going to be commendable. Moreover, the clutch potential that Doxer brings in for the entirety of the team, and most of the time, he's running Sova. When it comes to Ascent, he runs with Sova, gets that early insight. The recon dart's always on point, and later on, you all know, man. Ascent being one of the maps where it's paper thin, and all you need to do is bring in Odin and keep spraying all the way through, then that's it. You get those frags and you get the perfect value as well. So all of those things coming into the picture whenever we say Ascent, it's a perfect map, it's a vanilla map, but yet again, is it going to be picked this time? What do you think?
I mean, I have to say the whole map Ascent, it's in the name. It stands for Ascension. You know, when it comes to players who
point.
will play Valorant for the first time, every time when they look at a competitive match, they go in for those vanilla maps because they need to understand how you would execute the site, how the mechanics would work, which positions are best to defense, which positions are best to offense, at what time you need to go aggressively, defensively. It's like a hometown for map Ascent, especially for newcomers, to understand not only just to understand how agents work, but also the entirety of the map.
Well, true. So altogether, I believe Ascent will still be played till the very end. I believe even if the game goes like 50, 60 years old, people are going to love playing Ascent because that is the polls, man. That's the polls talking. And yeah, I believe I won't be surprised at all. But overall, talking about the recent patch where Neon has been nerfed to the point where you no longer get more than 1 slides. If you need the slides, you need to get 2 additional kills. Same logic as Hot Hands. So, well, I'm finally understanding that the entire lobby or the entire community has joined together and they have thought about, let's just go ahead and nerf Neon down. But talking about the map nerfs, wherein all the bans are going to be, it's right on our screens. Split, Pearl, Abyss, and Sunset. All 4 maps banned.
And I have to say, from the side of Team ZEROFRAGS, they've made a decision to pick Map Haven to be their first map pick. And second for AES, AMIGOS ESPORTS, Ascent. I mean, turns out Ascent has been picked almost all the time, so your prediction came out right. So yeah, and Decider, of course, Bind. Obviously, when you have 3 main maps that's been played over and over again, why not, you know, add Bind into the mix? So we have 3 maps, Haven, Ascent, and Bind. Bind will only be unlocked if both the teams, you know, secure the maps of themselves with their own map pick.
Of course. And hoping that, you know, the first map itself, it's a 3-sided map. Haven. We all have seen a lot of history going down there, the way the control is there towards the lobby, the early insight onto what's going on towards A, and then the entire team is thinking, let's just rush towards mid. Once you get the mid control, then you can unlock multiple directions. From B, you can head towards either A or C as well. So those kind of rotations are very open for the likes of attackers. That's the reason it's attack friendly. But the defense is one of the places where you need to at least at the bare minimum squeeze out 5 rounds, else things are going to go haywire.
Absolutely. And when it comes to repositionings, especially for defense on Map Haven, it will be difficult for the defenders. So the only thing that they have to do is to make sure that they figure out a way to cut off rotations, get proper informations with the help of Sova's Dart, in which he'll be able to get a lot of information from his owl drones and the normal recon drones that he'll be able to, you know, shoot through towards the side where most of the players would go in for the execute, right? So I have to say Haven will be a difficult map, but since Haven has been played by most of the teams over and over again, they know their ins and outs. All they have to do is just, like I said, figure out the mistakes, see where they're, you know, opening up certain loopholes, and that loophole would be an advantageous situation for either of these teams to capitalize on that.
Well, with all of that speculations, right, we always come down to this one question, the composition. Will Neon come into the meta or not? Because all of this time, whenever she had double slides, she was in the meta, she was functioning as that perfect duelist. But all of a sudden, when things are just getting nerfed, I believe that she needs to be into the picture, but how will she be implemented is the first question. I've seen, because I'm Batman, he has always been very keen towards heading and getting Neon to get that early advantage as she's very pacey. So those kind of plays, if you can go ahead and capitalize, it's good. And Yoru as well, man. Surprisingly, I've seen Yoru being played in this map. The gate crashes help a lot alongside the flashes. My goodness, the amount of plays you guys can make with a Yoru is just mind-bending.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you have an ability like Fake Out, it's just a game of prediction and proper understanding between the defenders. If they don't exactly predict that, hey, you know, Yoru might be in the side or might not be in the side, it's a huge question mark that would end up, especially when you're in a 1v5 situation, right? You'd never know where Yoru would be. But unless and until if you get that proper information, that's more than enough to understand, right? So once hopefully we get to take a look at the agent selects, we'll be able to understand. But yeah,
we will.
I do have to talk about the Neon's, you know, pick though. But yeah, Yoru's already been picked though from ZEROFRAGS. But yeah, you can clearly see how excited he is. You know, I'm pretty sure you love playing Yoru most of the time.
No,
right?
I don't love playing Yoru because, you know, I am an initiator. I always play Gecko more often. So Yoru just brings in the spice. It's a duelist coming in from the sides of ZEROFRAGS.
Yep.
And talking about AMIGOS, they're going in with that same composition that they used to. KJ is a really good addition in this particular map. And there's always this vote, right? It's Cypher or KJ. And half of them choose KJ, depending upon the versatility. And most of them choose Cypher because of the tripwires and the information that he can bring towards site A itself. So it depends upon situation to situation. But yes, I'm excited to see how this Euro is going to be into the picture. ZEROFRAGS, if they unleash their potential, this first map can be theirs.
Yes, I have to say, like you said, it's a difference between whether if a team wants to play accordingly with info or do they have to go in for full-on defense, right? So yeah, agents are locked. Now we have to do is just wait for the players to join in on the game. And without having any further delays, we'll start things off with our first matchup for TEC Showdown.
I'm excited. I'm super pumped. Both these teams have gone haywire against each other. And the competition till now has been very gruesome.
Yeah.
Things have gone towards a third map as well. But is this time going to be the similar thing which we could see in the earlier histories? Or it's going to be a tad bit different? 2-0, of course, I'm not expecting. If I expect 2-0, then I'm just going to feel like, wait, Yoru has been overpowering in the entire scenario. But here's another thing, right? The speculations when it comes into the picture. Omen always being picked as the controller in the map of Haven. What do you think? Omen better or Clove better?
You know, it really depends though, because especially when you talk about the back in the days for Valorant, the main reason why everyone picked Omen is the amount of versatility and the smokes having a specific set of cooldown. So like in every single map, yes, you'd have like around 30 seconds cooldown for like every single smokes. So you can have an endless amount of smokes with a certain cooldown of 30 seconds. You can block important line of sight, which is very important, especially when you're going up against an AWPer, because an AWPer is basically a tough situation to go for. But let's think about it another way, because we have just got our match, folks. So without any further ado, let's just start things off with our first matchup for a Showdown series.
But to the entire speculation, right, I would really like to add this one part. You know, Clove, whenever she dies, she still has that option to go ahead and place the smokes. So most of the time, I would say it's situational. And yeah, with that situation, let's just dive right into the game. The first round being the pistols round, and we all are excited. This changes those tides. This shifts the entire parameter onto a team or not. That we are soon gonna see. ZEROFRAGS versus AMIGOS.
Well, the pistol round is always the crucial one, that is for sure. And you can clearly see that most of the players from AES are, holding down towards mid. They have some good fault line to try to, flush out the players from mid. Currently playing for picks. ZEROFRAGS, they're just playing it patiently, but Cyrax going way too aggressive, finds one, doesn't get the headshot though. Reach will tag quite a lot of damage, and here comes the near side from the Omen. Finds one, Clandestine gets the other, Detroit, both of them holding their ground all the way from spawn. They knew that the Jet would go aggressive all the way towards mid. They have found the opening, and now they're executing towards the side.
Couple of players already gone. AMIGOS, that's like a very brutal approach coming in from their end. And so far, they're bleeding out. They're bleeding out of the shots. Juggy managing to get at least one there. The situation looks even Steven, but looking at the HP, it's way too low. Early insights, and Clandestine, he's all around in that corner, but F-Noob, all of a sudden, he's shifting gears. The last man towards Haven, and he's not gonna have that safe space at all. Xeon taken down alongside ZEROFRAGS, getting the pistol round onto their name. This is the beginning, Baba Gasta. And from here on, the second round is imminent.
Yeah. First round itself, you clearly get to see the method of approach that AMIGO Esports went through, right? They went aggressive. We did get to see both the Breach and the Jet push all the way towards mid-top. You even had, a lot of support from the Breach. You had the fault line, you even had the flashes. But when it comes to recovery of those kills, losing those two gunfights, especially in the mid, gave them the opening for ZEROFRAGS. And right now having a Guardian in hand, which is a very powerful gun in long range, and it has the ability to shoot through walls. But Cyrax is playing very close. All he needs is just that moment.
Exactly. Classic right clicks. All he needs to do is aim and shoot. That's all. He might get a weapon upgrade, but that depends whether this team is going all ANSI and they're heading towards Side C or not. But this entire fake has already been sold out. Still anticipating that the players are going to head towards C, but it's not going to be the case. They're heading all the way towards A. They have a good amount of advantage and they have region shields as well. Mind you guys, if you engage in a fight and you lose at least half the HP of the shield, it gets regenerated. Wait for the booster sound to be turned on. Now Ginola goes into the smoke because of Batman, gets the first one, but I believe Juggy, he's on to his devious tasks, getting the insights on where the players can be. Eventually, they have to set foot inside the site, but how can it work? Cyrax right at the back lines, but I believe it's not going to be that easy to take down F-Noob as the weapon difference is continuously stinging them.
Yeah, it's all up to the Sova though. Fortunately, he only has the Sheriff. He gets dinged in the leg from De Kreuz's Guardian. Flawless win from ZEROFRAGS. They will secure 2-0 since this was an eco round from AES. The only main thing that they could have done is to try to get some value out of it. Turns out they'll be able to get some of it, not a lot. But yeah, all in all, it is 2-0. ZEROFRAGS, they are looking really good. So they'll have some great weapons from there. And you even have region shields from F-Noob and Clandestine, both of them. You know, you even have a really great Sentinel that could cover up their backs. You even have a really great Duelist that could execute the site and make sure that every single line of sight has been covered up. So, yeah, round 3, this is where, this is the moment where, you know, Team Amigos could have a make it or break it moment. Here comes running back, here comes the execute from the other side. So Zeon will be in a bit of a huge bother. Here comes his team to support from the back side. So Ginola gets it. You know, he will be able to remove the run it back, but the execute still needs to happen. The smoke will be blocked out, so is the entire hallway at the hands of AES, which leads to Cypher all the way towards the garage. Law left by his lonesome, but he still gets the opening on the first. Unfortunately, doesn't get the second, and that is more than enough for Amigos to get their third round.
It was a lovely approach. Hands down, loved it. The control sublime did not even give the room, even though run it back was applied. He got the insight where the opponents are gonna be, but later on could not capitalize at all. All the utilities dumped at one particular corner and still no benefit. But it's all right. Now is the time for Amigos to go ahead and capitalize onto the previous round. But same thing goes for ZEROFRAGS as well. They have those weaponries. In the previous one, they did go in for those bonuses itself. And now comes the actual task. How to execute.
Yeah, I'm just gonna play it safe for now, but looks like Zeon just found out the opening, and that's an important pick. The Omen being out in play could cause major hassles for ZEROFRAGS. So it's going to have a lot of problems here from the side of ZEROFRAGS without the help of the smokes, but still they need to figure out a way to execute in towards the side, in which they will find one, taking out the KJ, but Clandestine goes out in the process as well. It's a 2v4 situation. Phoenix very low on HP, but the Breach still has the spike in hand. He needs to go in for the plant. He needs to secure it, but currently he's been bombarded with information, and here comes Cyrax all the way from the backside to clean things up, all the way from C hallway to give them the equalizer for Team Amigos.
Good rounds altogether, man. Good rounds. Forcing ZEROFRAGS to go ahead and head on towards those sheriffs. And this just seems like a big approach coming in from there and thinking that they can go in for those half buys or mere pistol upgrades just to squeeze in yet another round. So I believe they go in for their complete save and full stack themselves towards either of the sites. It's going to work out for them, but eventually it's Amigos who are capitalizing, being in the defense corner, already getting 2 rounds. And this might potentially be their third as well. F-Noobs, good shots altogether. The Marshal prevails.
Yeah, that Marshal headshot, just he's alive in just 25 HP. That's a huge thing and a huge value coming in from ZFR. But for Amigos, they also lost their duelist as well. So the one-on-one, the trade-ups is looking really good. The flashes will be present as well from both the sides. So Clandestine will be able to use his as well. Recover back the Vandal to ensure that the upgrade would be in their hands. They're making a decision to execute in towards A, which in fact currently been holding from 2 of the players. And now they're trying to make second guesses here. Will they attempt for an A side push, or would they fall back and find a different way in just 45 seconds?
It's going to be a rush.
right there.
FNU way too low, sitting in the corner itself, waiting for the perfect right click. He has his spy cam, could be using it, but eventually will give away his location. And now the entire push coming in towards main. There comes a fake, and there comes the entire team coming forward towards the side, but it's going to be a futile attempt. Neko, good shots altogether, and his utility itself is doing the work. Last man standing, FNoob, he's going to fall prey to Neko's shots yet again. And yes, that upgradation of pistols did not work out for the best. Amigos, well, they're doing everything right. They know the entire approach coming in from the opponents, and they're just waiting down to the wire. At this moment, we know we have gotten them.
Yep, a 2-2. Actually, no, it's not 2-2. It's 3-2, favoring for Team Amigos. Even though they did lose their pistol rounds, they still came back strong, and getting back those wins that they need. If you take a look at the ultimates that are currently present from both the sides, you have the Neural Tap from the Cypher and also the Jet. Dimensional Drift will be used immediately to provide some vital information all the way towards the C side. But do they have ideas about the traps? Looks like they do. They will remove most of the nanoswarms as well as the turrets, and immediately captures the C side, leaving with an important post-plant situation for Team Amigos.
That's right. There's still endeavors going all across because I'm Batman, even though his controller, he's doing that job phenomenally. Did catch that lurking KJ. There comes, run it back. Yet again, trying to get that perfect inside, but no, the HP is definitely gonna dwindle. Judge right in that corner, but Chucky, he's good for 2. Neko on the other end. He's making it possible for the entire team. The retake, sublime, 0 frags. They're just falling down into bits and pieces. FNoob, no matter how many times he's the last man standing, he cannot clutch it out against a team who is functioning so well. Amigos. Well, hola to you.
Oh boy. I mean, I have to say that near side from the Omen, man, that is more than enough to clear off the important chokehold angle that was required for AES to proceed into the site itself. That, you know, that important ability from Batman was more than enough to secure that post plant they desperately needed. And that is more than enough to force ZEROFRAGS.EXE to go for a very force buy from the side from their end. Actually, it's not from Batman, I'm sorry. I believe it was the side of AES's Omen who had that, the ability that worked out so well from their end. But yeah, focusing on this round number 6, Cyrax currently having the AWP in hand, a very powerful weapon that could take out the players from mid-range. I mean, just from the body shot itself. And I have to admit, AES, they're going to have a lot of problems. But whoa, that headshot though from Noob, especially from the Sheriff, could be huge, influential. But you forgot about FNoob, who was currently nearby, and he gets 2 important kills. They've got the opening, and now ZEROFRAGS, they are rushing in towards the side.
It won't change anything. Wow. That is the 3rd connection coming through, but from a different player altogether. Previous to this, FNoob, he has already charged himself. This round can be the potential round where they could get flawless, but it's Ginola. He's still standing tall, and whenever he is there in this clutch situations, he delivers. He's the chill dude who can constantly be a menace as well. The corners needed to be checked, and Clandestine, in the midst of all of that chaos, he's gonna bring that round that ZEROFRAGS needed it the most. But credit where credit is due. FNoob, that was a perfect initiation. Even though he is the Sentinel, the kahunas on this man, it just speaks volumes.
You know, it's really interesting you're bringing up all of the, you know, Spanish term that actually goes well with the Amigos Esports, you know. So, yeah, it's really nice to see that. But yeah, all in all, I have to say FNoob, a really great, impactful performance that he did in the Eco round, giving them a certain motivation for them to keep themselves back on track. 4-3, a crucial Eco round, which forces the side of ZEROFRAGS to think about their, you know, method of strategy, see how well it could go, you know, see well how it could go well from their end. And talking about it, just finding some information. Currently, they're not going to get the early facts just yet. Most of the traps are currently being placed all the way from the A side, but the only difference is that ZEROFRAGS, they need to know exactly where the traps are if they're executing towards the site. So it could be either on garage, it could be either on mid, but they'll never know. I mean, we can currently see as the spectators, but for the players, it's currently hidden. So they're taking their sweet time, and that time would inevitably be their downfall for ZEROFRAGS, losing their important duelist in especially in just 45 seconds remaining.
You know what's the worst part? Yoru has his own set of flashes.
Yeah.
All he had to do was put in a flash and wait. But he did not. He just went directly head on, thinking there might be no one holding garage. Here's the mistake. The rookie mistakes might affect the entire round. There are like a couple of ultimates which can just blow apart this entire retake. Then it comes the lockdown of the defenders. It's for sure gonna flush out all the players. Two of them heading all the way towards that corner at A main itself, which means if there was a raise and a paint shell, things would have been an imminent despair. But okay, right, getting that first frag and now going in for that. Run it back again. Wait, what's going on? Because on Batman, he's good for 3 altogether. That man single-handedly is just taking the entire situation in control. Lucid! My oh my, that shot was just amazing.
Man, that shot is devastating though, I'm not gonna lie. The shot all the way from the heaven side of A really did change the pace of the situation though. 4-4. Man, these are the types of matches where you feel like, yes, there could be a chance that either Amigos could win or even ZEROFRAGS could win, because you can clearly see the amount of outplays that you get to witness here. Most of the rounds that we see from ZEROFRAGS, yes, those were eco rounds, but it was a crucial round for them to win, and they did deliver it. Thanks to, Noob currently playing as the Cypher, but now you can clearly see that there is a lot of pressure applied from the garage, basically distracting most of the players to focus on towards the other side. So here comes the double peak. Very important, very crucial, impactful player down for the count, and just like that, C is open for business. And for Amigos, they've got to figure out a way to bring it back.
Oh no. Decried the angle, Sublime. All he needs to do is point and shoot, but Neko, he is better. He has proven something which this team is just going to figure out after a time now. Batman, he's still lurking inside the shadows. Juggy, all he needs to do is understand what the current situation is. But unfortunately, 2 players have fallen prey to the similar strat. Ginola, last man standing. 30 HP is what we can see. He has a paranoia. He has from the shadows as well, but nothing will help him out. Paranoia, of course it will, but eventually he will fall prey to because I'm Batman. Back-to-back 3 frags from the previous round because I'm Batman. Earlier to this, he was handling a duelist role, and now heading towards the controller. He's still the aggressive controller out there.
Yeah. Being able to change roles is not an easy task for most of the professional players, right? If you're sticking with duelists, of course, duelists will have a certain set of, play styles that you need to adapt. But swapping roles from a duelist to a controller is really difficult because you need to figure out a way to adapt as a controller. You need to make sure that you're alive when it comes to these execute phases because those smokes are really crucial. The controller dies and you don't have any other choices for those smokes. But wait a minute, Cyrax all the way D, but he fails to secure the kill as Clandestine gets one, Descartes gets the other. Ginola, perfect headshot towards the seaside. They're trying to hold their ground, but unfortunately, he gets caught out from Batman. He's just going out, and I have to say, for ZEROFRAGS, they will win when it comes to their man economy. It is 4-1. Noob, great shot with the op. And now it's all up to the Sova, currently having the Hunter's Fury. I believe he has no other choice but to save it, or maybe he could attempt a 1v4 with the Sheriff, but it's a very difficult one though.
It's going to be a futile attempt, is what I can say. But eventually, he has leveled himself up, getting the half shield, going all half Cs in this round. Amigos did not work out for them for the best. Max they could do is put down 1 weapon, which for ZEROFRAGS, it's nothing. If it's going to be more than just 1, that's where things can dwindle down. Juggy still checking all of those corners, being extra paranoid here. I mean, it's good as well, because if you're going to all go guns blazing inside the site and think that you're the solo sheriff in the town, it won't work out. You need to isolate those fights. And in this case, ZEROFRAGS, they're not even giving a single chance for Juggy to go ahead and capitalize, because on Batman, yet again, shots on point, and there comes the 6th. Point to be noted here, Baba Gasta. The Zero Frags, they did have a very wonky start, but eventually they're catching up to the pace. Being in the attacker's end, you need to squeeze out the maximum value, especially when it's the first half. But when it comes to the second half, that's where Amigos is going to show their true colors.
Yeah. Like you said, right, Haven is a 3-site map. It's really difficult for the defenders to, especially when most of the attackers go in for a rotate, it's really difficult. But wait a minute, aggressive attempt from Cyrax. This could be an important, crucial moment. They just need to go in for a simple peek. Sees the shoulder, gets the shot, gets away to safety. Important frags, but the hands of Neko being picked out from Batman. Important peek, important pick. Dealers out, but guess what? Clandestine is all the way deep towards the A side, giving them the information that they have controls towards A, and just like that, it's a 3v4 situation as Amigos. They have the Hunter's Fury, but would it be more than enough to deny the plant? That is the biggest question.
For now, it just seems like he's taking his best opportunity, but F-Noob is already at the back lines. There goes Juggy down and under. Amigos, well, now it's a post-plant for them, where I believe they have no clue what just went wrong. Cyrax, well, operator in hand, the maximum he can do is get a frag or two, but that's pretty much it. There comes a dark cover, and now he has no line of sight as he's the Jet, and Jets don't have that information onto where the opponents can be. F-Noob, that was a good attempt altogether, and there comes the Sheriff in hand. F-Noob, the lurk game has been on point for him, bringing in that value for the entirety of the round. 7-4, ladies and gentlemen, where Zero Frags are just dominating in the first half.
Well, I have to say there can only be one Sheriff in this town, and that is F-Noob. That is for sure. An amazing performance with the Sentinel itself, getting those 2 kills with the Sheriff, especially on a post-plant situation like that. And of course, we did get to see Cyrax committing for an op-buy, which really did hurt their economy a lot. So this next round will be even much more difficult for them to deal with. Juggy, what just happened? A lot of whiff! Clandestine, he gets away with the kill, and so does Lucid to take out Xeon. There goes your Sentinel and the other player, which could be even much more detrimental for Amigos. 3v5. Oh my goodness, that is a huge blunder that's coming in from the side of Sova.
That was diabolical. Absolute chaos is what I could see. And because of that chaos, the entire team is manifesting hope for themselves. A good paranoia clandestine, but eventually he's getting all of the frags. Oh my goodness. Zero frags. The economy is currently, it's like that market, right? You know, the Sunsex market where you see that boom. It's that boom currently for them. And finally, the first half, it has ended.
You know, I'm not gonna lie, when it comes to stocks, I have really no idea, but I would definitely go for a buy one get one free offer on any of those products.
In which case, second pistol round, which is going to be very vital for Amigos. Let's just completely ignore what Baba Gasta said. Just for now, I'm kidding, guys. Just pulling his leg, eventually reaching towards the part where I'm hoping that Amigos can level things up. Being in towards the attacker's side, you have the advantage that you can choose any site and you can cause chaos towards mid. How well can Amigos Esports do this? This is the trial that they have to go through. Once they win, that's where they can get those bonuses in the next following round. Clandestine, the angle is sublime. He's just waiting for his beloved teammate to go ahead and flash jump peaks all across. Did spot the head. Xeon, he's gonna bite the dust. And the others are just gonna wonder, where did Clandestine just go? There comes Tekoi just going ahead and obliterating yet another player. But there's a trade coming through. But this trade does not signify anything, as the backstab is equally good from the likes of F-Noob.
Yep. 2v4, and Cyrax is basically cornered on all angles. He can't go out, he can neither go in. He needs to, get at least a shot or two or try. Oh, a possibility. Clandestine, he went to miss some certain shot. Here comes Lucid with the alt attack. From the classic, he will secure one more, which leads to Cyrax. All by his lonesome, destroyed and taken out. And pistol round goes to the hands of Zero Frags.
9-4, ladies and gentlemen. Good amount of strategies being implemented. And here's the thing, right? Whenever you get Yoru into the picture, you can do all of these things. You can jump around, you can gate crash your way through, whether it be your friend's marriage or whether it be the game itself.
Yeah.
Everything works out for the best. And Yoru has been that agent who recently has made into the metas. Earlier to this, every single one of them were experimenting it, thinking that no, it's not going to work out. But finally, if it goes to the right hands, for example, Clandestine, then these rounds are just bound to happen.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure once the match comes to an end, Yoru would be heading out to a similar after party and just celebrates his way up to victory. But yeah, we still need to focus on the rest of the matches though, right? I mean, this is the first match of the Showdown series. There are more to come in the next, next future matches. So currently we are heading for a tech pause from the side of AES, hopefully. So once they get their situation fixed, we'll be able to resume back the matchup. But I do have to say, from the side of Amigos Esports, I have to say the performance from Ginola, especially the the retake that we did get to witness on future matches, that was really good. Being able to use those paranoias to clear out that important corner, giving them the opportunity to open up the site, blocking off line of sights, and also securing the post plant. And then afterwards, it was just Batman and Noob all the way. It was their show. It was just Cypher and Omen just doing God's work.
Now, with this tech pause, I'm hoping that Amigos is going to have that mental reset that they need. They've already lost the pistol round that they needed so desperately. And now the desperation is there. They're upgrading those pistols. They're getting in sheriffs. They know that if it's going to be one tap to the head, it's going to do its job, as half shields and regen shields are coming in to the other corners. There's like 2 full shields. But that will just make things worse for the likes of Amigos itself, planning about how this entire round is going to execute. Finally, they have taken this tech pause. And that's the thing, right? I believe it's a bit too late. It could have come a bit earlier.
I mean, yeah.
When they were in the defense, of course.
Absolutely, yes. Especially in the first half, maybe they could have... usually, timers happens at the end of the first half, right? So usually in the second half, if, let's just say for an example, if AES makes a mistake, they'd usually go for a timeout so that they can not only reset themselves and focus on the match, but yeah, turns out we will resume back the matchup. And I have to say, for Juggy, he is definitely not looking good. Detroit goes in for a flash pick to find some of the certain players, but turns out Detroit and Clandestine finds 2 players back to back in towards the mid, clearing off players one by one. And Amigos Esports, well, it's in the name. There's only 2. I mean, if they go out, and so is the round for ZEROFRAGS.EXE to secure all the way up to 410. It's all up to Neko and his trusty sheriff to determine whether if he can get that opening pick he needs. But they need to be in close range. Anything more than 5 or more than 10 meters, you won't be able to secure that headshot. You need to dink them in the head twice. But all in all, F-Noob once again doing what he does best, making sure that the flanks are covered, making sure he gets all the info he needs for his team to determine exactly at which positions does Team Amigo goes for. So they either have B side to push in or maybe on C, and they will make their presence known with Detroit patiently waiting. He has the information, he secures one, he finds the other, and here comes the ability. Flashes, fault lines, and destruction from none other than F-Noob, all the way from the backside to provide them the victory they need 4-10 at the hands of ZEROFRAGS.
Amigos are scratching their heads, thinking now is the time that we need to go ahead and do something important. But here's a factoid for you all. In Season 6, Because I'm Batman delivered a masterclass performance showcasing exceptional clutch plays and strategic prowess. So this man has been a perfect Pandora box. Whenever you open it, you are surprised, you get that insight, and you can also be controlled looking at the way he plays it through. But that's a good initiation. Neko shutting down the duelist, but on the other end, it's the controller who's already gone. So no more smokes that can be deployed in or around the site.
Let's not forget, that was a wallbang with a Guardian. Clandestine, his shot is so accurate that he made sure that even if he gets picked out, he'll get the most impactful, agent that is required for execute. And now they are falling back. They only have a minute left on their clock to figure out a way to which site do they need to go on. And look at the aggressive playstyle that you get to witness from ZEROFRAGS.EXE. They're covering up every single ground except A Long and C Long. That's exactly where most of the players are currently in at the moment. But turns out one of them gets caught, and Juggy just makes sure to utilize that punishment as Detroit was staying in out of the open into his mid for quite a long time. And now finally the decision is here. ZEROFRAGS, they need to see whether if they can hold out this A post plant. And FNoob, let's see if he can deliver those impactful headshots as we see from previous first halves.
The Cypher traps are still intact. Can give a lot of insight where the opponents can be. Juggy, good for one. FNoob for now is out of the picture. 2v4 is what the situation looks like. And this retake is all of a sudden way too hard for them to even ponder upon. Shots fired, but he did not witness the man who's standing right behind because of Batman. Think altogether. Now a combined effort is what is needed to enter towards the site. Here comes a fake TP coming through. And because of Batman, he's good for another one. And Neko, he was quick on the trigger. Lucid, he did save one weapon, and now he wants to run away from that corner.
Yep. When you have an aggressive jet with a Vandal in hand, you'd obviously, get the weapon and just fall back to safety. Because having a Vandal weapon is much more powerful than just, sticking with Spectres, Judge, or Bulldogs. Vandal is the most ultimate weapon. Of course, you still have the Phantom, which is much more reliable in close range, especially the ability to have like invisible traces. It really depends on player's playstyle nonetheless, right? Most of the duelists would have a Phantom. Most of the Sentinels would have Phantoms, especially for Cypher. But once again, it's up to them. 5-10. Currently, we get to witness ZEROFRAGS be in the lead in the second half, but there is quite a lot of groundwork that needs to be covered up, and you can clearly get to witness for AMIGOS Esports. They are currently facing a lot of dangers, but hopefully that dangers could be fixed up in this round itself.
I'm hoping for it. ZEROFRAGS, the way they have already confidently chosen their first map to be Haven, I'm pretty impressed. They're playing it sublime. Clandestine yet again having the same angle, just waiting for any of the opponent to be a teensy bit more antsy and head towards mid and get that first point of contact. But the entire train is heading towards platform A.
Yeah.
And in the middle, there's a lot to do. They can get derailed. The information, it just needs to be on point. And look at the Cypher tripwires. Every single thing placed to perfection. FNoob currently anchoring the entire A site on Lonesome. And 4 people are ready to pounce right at him. There comes the push. There comes the updraft. But Cyrax could not convert that one.
Yeah, that's one way to get out of that situation. Lessening out the man count for AMIGOS since it's a 3v4 situation. Most of the side has been covered up, making sure that none of the traps would pop out from FNoob's end. But he's still alive, he's still kicking, he's all the way from Heavens, which will be blocked. But here comes the fault line, here comes the execute.
Oh!
Great headshot, even while concussed. But here comes FNoob, all the way from the top side, and Clandestine to end things off with this post plant. And just like that, we will witness ZEROFRAGS.EXE, an amazing post plant from the other side.
That's right. It's just the beginning. ZEROFRAGS, my goodness. FNoob, the way he's anchoring till the very end. My goodness. He's just making things possible. It was up for tatters. It was an entire site given away to the attackers. But at the end, it's about how you end the day. It's about how you end the round. And they ended it with perfection, dropping down and then getting all of those frags, just shutting them clean was perfect.
Yeah, currently ZEROFRAGS, they are 2 rounds away of securing map number 1 of the Showdown series season 7. And you can clearly see the amount of aggression that you're expecting here from Clandestine. He's deep within enemy territory. Gonna be very close. Once the smoke dissipate, so is the information on Sova's head. When will be the peaks? Clandestine, does he know the info? No, he does not.
Oh!
Fakes at the... he just gets away back to safety while his teammate comes in at the right time. But no, running back, knife from behind. Cyrax applying salt to burnt areas. Just a minute left. They still have the spike control. Zero frags. They still have the man advantage. It's a 3v2 situation. And for AMIGOS Esports, all they need is a miracle to secure this important win that they could hold on a map like Haven.
After this plant, he has the Hunter's Fury. AMIGOS can still reel this round through. All they have to do is play till the very end. On the other corner, Dimension Drift, the moment I was about to say, Clandestine has already popped it right off, getting the inside where the opponents can be, and these flashes are just gonna be menace! Shotty in hand, and there goes the Hunter's Fury. He knew it, he had to take down this target, and after that, it was just a follow-up coming in from Lucid Owns You. He definitely owns his shots, and they definitely own the 12th round coming on board.
You know, that is one way to display fear into the hearts of their enemies. And the way how Clandestine just casually walks away with the interdimensional drift, even if you have Hunter's Fury or not, you just need to make sure that you're staying alive, right? And especially with the timing of that fault line to be concussed, man. Like, I wish I could have seen Soa's perspective because he was concussed with the fault line. There was nothing he could have done. And of course, when you have a shotty in close range, what can you expect?
You know, that was a combination I thought that Cyrax is going to be rocking on as he's a jet.
Yeah.
And the moment he saw F-Noob at that time towards site A, I thought it's going to be the shotty coming out. But no, it wasn't in his hands. And he thought that the Vandal could do a better job. But no, it did not. Now, yet again, this is a similar strategy that we're seeing day in, day out. And finally, Ginola has understood. He has cracked the Da Vinci Code. And Clandestine, he falls prey as well. One by one, shutting them down. Lucid Owns You did manage to do some kind of a damage control, but it's not yet done. The man count advantage is still towards AMIGOS. And they are just running, getting that side control.
Yeah, you still have opportunities though for AMIGOS Esports. Currently focusing in towards the side. You still have the Omen all the way from the backside, going in for the lung, for the flank. But here comes F-Noob.
Wow.
Gets a kill, gets away to safety. Bye-bye Cyrax. It's just, how does he get away with that?
So casual. Yet playing like a WoW.
I mean, Spike's been planted, but still there is a lot of problems though. AMIGO Esports, they're currently holding on to make sure that they would get it, but no, here comes Backman all the way from the backside, clearing out the flanks, clearing out the other side, but there's still fight left in them. It's a 2v2 situation. It is salvageable. AMIGOS Esports, they just need to take out. It's all up to Ginola, concussed, dazed out of his mind. Lucid trying to find the player. Is it a fake? Is it not? Headshot. Lucid gets it, and just like that, first map goes at the hands of ZEROFRAGS.EXE.
Someone check MPC.
Defenders win.
But yeah, what a good approach, man. All together, the way everything just panned out to look like AMIGOS' solid start. They were getting those rounds, being in defense, but coming towards the attack, even though it's attack-sided map, they could not get the maximum out of it. It's just a round or two. After that, it's just blank out.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the whole first half, you can clearly see how confident AMIGOS were. They even won the pistol round.
Exactly.
They even won the round next to it. And afterwards, you got to see the team start to crumble down a little bit. Especially when they started to get those important picks, taking out the KJ and the Duelist, which was the most important part. And of course, when you see a jet with an AWP, you clearly know how dangerous when it comes to an agent that can push aggressively, get those kills, and get back to safety. Well, guess what? It was none other than the Sentinel who ended up being the Duelist instead, getting those kills, getting back to safety. And guess what? It's happening on the second half. It's like the roles were reversed. You never know what exactly happened.
Roles being reversed. Not only that, I was even excited to see the way, you know, Cyrax was stepping up to the task. He did till the very end, but ultimately it was F-Noob, man. Here's the thing. There's nothing more dangerous than a lurking Sentinel.
Yeah.
And especially F-Noob just rocking that role till the very end. I was hoping that it's going to be a shorty in the hands of Cyrax, but eventually he did not have the shorty at all. And that's the thing, right? That's the biggest question mark. If you don't have a shorty, then why are you rocking on a jet? Because jets, the dashes, you're always going to get the edge. You have the element of surprise, so might as well use it.
you'll be able to close the gap with the Jet's dash as well in the process, right? You have to be a bit aggressive, but the thing about Jet is that you need to take risk. And looking at Cyrax, he was taking risk. I'm not going to say he's not. I mean, especially on the C long, we did get to see that important first frags he delivered. But the thing is, every time when a Jet gets that first kill, you did get to see that Batman was also there going with an instant trade, making sure that that advantage would be nullified. That's exactly what happened. They played accordingly with trades, and because of that, we really did get to see how ZEROFRAGS, tried to, do damage control, just like you said.
But now the crucial moments.
Yeah,
we would love to see it. The way the entire thing has played to perfection. ZEROFRAGS, they definitely deserve the first map. It was their own pick and they played it to perfection. But now comes the question that Amigos, what are you gonna do? The second map is gonna be yours, but all of that action being relived right in front of you, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep, map number 1, Haven, in the hands of ZEROFRAG, and now it's all up to map number 2 to determine whether if we could go all the way to map number 3, Bind. But for that to happen, we need to see whether AMIGOS Esports could win map number 2. But all in all, Haven, it was really an amazing match to look at. A really great performance from both the side, and especially those crucial moments where you get to witness a knife from the backside from Cyrax, which definitely did work out, and also Clandestine with a really great help with the fort line from his teammate to provide the necessary win that they need to win in those gunfights.
Lucid, trust me, has been doing their heavy lifting all of this time. We were appreciating FNoob. But Lucid, the way he has put all of those traps for the opponents, getting the fault line, the aftershock, every single thing in perfection, that's what changes the entire direction or the narrative towards the rounds. And yes, Juggy was concussed. That's the reason he was running away for his life alongside Clandestine's. Even, the dimensional drift coming through, he just knew for a fact that he needs to shut down that Hunter's Fury. If not, things would not work out in the moving round. The moment you go for the tap, Hunter's Fury from the spawn itself, he's gonna just launch the attacks right at you. It's gonna be a barrage of 3 arrows. And right after that, the HP, of course, it's always gonna be depleted. But eventually, the entire team understood the situation and they capitalized it.
I mean, it's like a game of checkers. If you can predict exactly what kind of abilities that the player has and being able to counter it with an ability of your own, that is basically a game changer.
Exactly.
And the way how Clandestine go through with that, especially by cancelling out Hunter's Fury, you have to be aggressive. You need to apply pressure and leave the rest of the other 2 players who are currently making their way in towards the side. Which means that not only is Clandestine giving time for the rest of the players to join in, he's creating a lot of pressure so that the current line of sight that is holding on, that are currently they're trying to use to defend the spike, well, guess what? They're not present now. The defenders can easily join in while Clandestine does all the pressure, providing them the different version of paranoia that Omen has, and eventually it worked out. Now I have to say, I'm really excited what's going to happen on Ascent on map number 2.
Of course. First things first, kudos bringing in Yoru. I was so happy, guys. Thank you so much, ZEROFRAGS, for not telling that, you know what, it's all right. No matter how many times you say that you want to see a Yoru in Haven, we're not going to show you. That did not happen today. So thank you so much. Moving forward, the meta, how it's going to be shifting. And already Neon is not into the picture. They all know that at this point of time, Neon has already been nerfed. So why use Neon? So, she is on a vacation, in fact.
She might be in the Bahamas, just like with some good coconuts, just enjoying the scenes of oceans, breeze. Yeah, maybe she might be on breeze. She might be taking a break on breeze. That could be it.
I'm glad you know her whereabouts. And I totally know that you're not stalking her.
No, I'm not.
All right. Moving forward, there has been a buff as well with Weiss. And that's one of the things which I would really love to talk about. Weiss has not come into this meta at all. When it comes to that Sentinel pick, they love taking Sage, as she has been buffed as well. But right after the buff of Weiss, what do you think? Are they going to pick Weiss?
I mean, right now, especially in most of the matches that I've witnessed, I haven't seen a lot of Weiss, but hopefully with the patch note that's already been applied, maybe we could see a lot more. Because previously, it was the meta of speed. And speed, it was none other than Neon. But with Neon out of the picture, maybe who knows, on map number 2 Ascent, we'll be able to see what kind of metas do we expect. But for that to happen, folks, we'll be taking a short little break and we'll be right back as soon as possible. Don't go anywhere.
One enemy remaining. Team Ace. One enemy remaining. One enemy
Well, what a game, Baba. The first game was amazing, but now it comes down to the second one. It's gonna be a pick of Amigos, and at this one, they have to nail it in order to head towards the third map.
Yeah, Amigos already losing map number 1. They're here to get their second chances back on map number 2. And if they didn't get it, they still have the lower brackets as well as their final chance. But would you, lose your safety net right away instead of winning it out in the first place? Because map number 2 Ascent could definitely be sort of a similar mirror matchup type that could happen.
Right.
Or maybe we could see some changes that we could witness from ZEROFRAGS.
Well, most of the time, it has always been a mirror composition. But for now, let's just look at the individual gameplay, the scorecard of the previous game. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the entire story. 13-5, ZEROFRAGS winning it all. And Clandestine, this man has been the menace, being the Euro.
Yep, 5 first kills, total of 19 kills. And with the help of Lucid's fault line, especially the amount of supports that he's been getting around from Clandestine. So it's like looking really good for Team ZEROFRAGS. And for AMIGOS Esports, they also made their fair share of appearance. They did made a really great start in the first half, but unfortunately, they did fall apart, especially in the second half. Maybe on map number 2 Ascent, it could be a different history.
Could be. So overall, I was impressed with the start of Amigos nonetheless. But then later on, as their fuel just ran out in that map, they had no other option rather than just going crazy, going with those knives. But talking about the one man who has made the difference, the MVP of this map definitely goes in for the hands of Clandestine. He has been the menace. Being Euro is not that easy. You need to gate crash at the right time, and this man knows how to do it.
And also, let's not forget, every time when you see a Euro pick, it's always a risky pick, no matter what you see from Clandestine. So, taking a look at the score, the stats as well: 19 kills, 5 first kills, and a headshot percentage of 26%, and total damage throughout the entire map is 3,271. That's quite a lot when it comes to a map like Haven, where he's constantly getting those initial picks, constantly getting those important kills, and even though if he doesn't secure most of those headshots, he will be able to deal damage while he gets picked out in the process.
Well, the window area has been very, very good for him. Most of the time, he always heads towards mid, earlier on capture the mid control, and then keep a gate crash awaiting towards B or C, either of the situations. And then he gate crashes his way through and always gets the benefit out of the entire situation. So yeah, teams were thinking what needs to be done. At one point, they did decipher the entire Da Vinci Code, and I was hoping that from there on, Amigos has something better than just what they've been doing continuously. They got that first frag onto the garage, and the second one was barraged right towards the mid itself. It was Clandestine, but later on, Lucid yet again kept the control, and yet the control was dwindling towards Amigos. Still, it was ZEROFRAGS who capitalized the entire situation. So these kind of rounds, the moment you see, right, like it's going right off, you need to find out the mistake. You need to take a timeout, understand what kind of mistakes you're making, get that mental reset, get that fluids going on, those juices flowing. And at one point, you will decipher what's wrong. But that time is already gone. 13-5 is what we could see in the first map. It was the pick of ZEROFRAGS, but now is the pick of the very friendly Amigos.
Yep, the time has passed for first map, which means that for Team Amigos, in order to secure map number 3, which will be bind, they need to figure out a way to win map number 2 Ascent,
Right.
which will be an interesting situation for both the teams, especially with the way how strong they were in the first half, and then second half. Once again, I think I did say the same part from the backside as well, but still, talking about it, the teams, especially on post-plant situation, you still have to admire AMIGOS Esports, especially on post-plant. No matter if, when it comes to the execute, yes, there will be some certain situations where getting a kill and falling back to safety is the most valuable way for most of the attackers to be in a disadvantageous situation. But not while doing that, even if it was a 5-5 where they have to commit for a post plant, the amount of strategic and proper executions that we expected from AMIGOS Esports were really well done, especially from the paranoia from Omen. We did get to see the clearings of the line of sight one by one, with one of the player pushing towards the backside, you had one pushing towards garage, and you also had the flank from the jet, which was arriving all the way from C long. So most of the post plant situations that you expect from AMIGOS are really powerful. It's just that the adaptations and when it comes to consistency, that's where the side of ZEROFRAGS hold power the most.
Not only that, the run it back was used as an expensive recon.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, I have seen rounds where they were just running forward, getting the insight on where the opponents can be. And yes, it did go burst in all of those bits and pieces. But here's the thing, right? Overall, if you all know how to capitalize or enter towards the site, and for that you're using run it back, you're heading towards the site, you're getting all the information that you need, it always helps. It's similar to having the Euros ultimate as well, the third dimension, the dimensional drift. The moment you pop it right off, you can ping where the opponents are. And now here comes the patch, right? The patch currently has a tweak towards pings as well. So the ping means that it's going to be more accurate.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which means that when it comes to jiggle peaks and jump peaks, will it be able to detect the player which are currently in sight, or is it?
No, it's like after the post-spawn scenario, right? Whenever
Yeah.
you have the spike down, you try to ping where the exact location is. Now it's going to be exactly at the place where you have pinged. So that precision always helps out for a longer run. For example, you have a lineup per se. You have the molly which needs to reach right out there, right towards that spot to stall the defenders to go ahead and defuse the taking spike. So you can do all of that, and now it's possible as well.
Yeah, having an accurate ping is also very crucial, because you definitely need it for important lineups if you're playing as the Brimstone, Viper, or any other agent that has a trajectory ability to, to try to get those kills. Yeah?
Mosh pit.
Mosh pit, yeah, of course. How can I forget about Mosh pit from Gecko? So there's a lot of things where where those lineups could be very important, and having that accurate ping could definitely help in throwing those accurate trajectories without having any issues at all. And of course, having information in the map is much more valuable than having no information at all, right? So having a value of, instead of blind peeking into the site, it's much more better to understand exactly where the player's positions are, just so that once you push in towards the execute, it's much more easier to access. So having an initiator is important. Having players like a Cypher is much more influential because of his neural theft, that it could be able to detect those information as quick as possible, and understand in what type of execute is the players are going to go for. And that two important pings can change the entirety of the game.
I mean, that's very well put right there, Baba Gasta. And moreover, I've seen Cyphers give that early insight as well. They have their spy cams to provide the intel on where the opponents can be. It can be at any spot. It can be hidden, it can be open, it can be obvious, so that even if you go for that shot, you're going to be taken down instantly. Those peaks always helps out for the best. But overall, yeah, the addition of Cypher has been a game changer for multiple teams. And whenever you get that perfect sentinel role applied into the game, you can bring a lot of value. And like you mentioned, the double ticks, that's also important. But same thing goes for an initiator called Sova as well. The Hunter's Fury, we could not see that pop right often from the likes of Juggy. Even though he used to do it, there was a backstab coming in thanks to F-Noob. The lurking sentinel, as we all call, is very dangerous, and he understood the exact whereabout on where Juggy will be there, and he gave that perfect response to it. So overall, I would say that in a game, in a three-sided map, for example, Haven, you need to have yours literally every direction.
Yeah, I mean, that's like you talked about common spots, right? It is very risky. I mean, sure, if you play competitive in a simple Valorant matchup, like playing in a common spot really gives you a higher chance of securing those important kills. But especially when you're in a professional situation or professional environment where common spots will never work, because they'd already expect that the Sova would be there in towards the tunnel side, right? So there is no other option to find different methods, that different positions that could not only help in securing those kills with the Hunter's Fury, but also providing them an opportunity to go back to the site and make sure that the spike isn't being diffused both at the same time. So it's really difficult to figure out different methods, but hopefully in the second map of Ascent, we'll be able to see some changes though from both the sides. We have dual initiators from Sova and KJ, and also I believe double initiators from ZEROFRAGS, where we're going to stick with Sova and Breach.
I'm surprised that, yes, Breach is a good option. Yes, it is, alongside Sova. But KO does things better. if you are more inclined towards heading towards attack, then KO can suppress every single thing that is coming in between, especially the agents. Not those walls, not the doors, none of that sort, but yes, the agents.
Yeah.
To surprise them, to take them down and not allow them to use their abilities. That's what KO can do best. But on the other end, if you need a really good entrance towards the site, the Rolling Thunder is going to play a picture-perfect stance for them. So ZEROFRAGS, they're in for a treat against Amigos. Yet again, we can see the same kind of controller right there. And talking about the duelist, it's going to be Jet. Of course, it has to be Jet, right? Height advantage, you can head towards the boxes, you can updraft and dash your way away from any harm's way, or you can just dash right in.
I mean, Ascent, Jet. I mean, it just connects,
History.
right? It's a playground at this point.
Exactly.
Every time when you see an Ascent, especially on the mid rounds of either first or second half, there will always be a off fight that could happen all the way from either mid top or from mid bottom, where there's most of the fight that could happen. Maybe you can see like a sniper shot being shot out right from the backside, because this map is Ascent after all. But talking about it, mirror matchups, yes, it will be a little bit stale because it revolves heavily around who gets the first frag. So either it could be ZEROFRAGS Jet, or it could be either Amigos Jet. So it really depends on the duelist's first pick, especially on a map like Ascent.
But the picture perfect question, who will win in this map of Ascent?
You know, I would say I could go all in for ZEROFRAGS, so I'm just sticking with that.
All right then, we're gonna dive right into the action of this particular matchup against Amigos versus ZEROFRAGS. We all are super excited to see whether it's gonna go towards the third map or it'll end in the second map itself. Well, I don't know where my money is gonna go, but may the best one win.
Yep, Amigos Esports. This is a very important map for them to proceed to map number 3 bind. And for ZEROFRAGS, it is more, for them, it's an opportunity to end the match on a 2-0 scoreline. Will it happen, or will we see a change around? Let us find out in map number 2, Ascent. Once the players are in the lobby, once the players are prepped and prepared, we'll start things off with the pistol round soon enough.
It's double initiator both the sides. Who's gonna do it better, Breach or KO? That's the question which needs to be deciphered. But the pistol rounds are out, and as you all can see, because on Batman being the controller, he's having an aggressive stance, and the smoke is a one-way smoke. Juggy, the moment he's gonna peek through, it might be the worst decision that he has already made. Cyrax already training his aim, and because on Batman, he knows he should not trifle with any of them heading towards site A. Wait for the entire team to move in, and that's where he can go ahead and do something. He gets the first pick, and all of a sudden, the things are just turning. Batman gets the third, Powerhouse the fourth. This man is unstoppable, but the ace is going to be denied as Clandestine. He shuts down the fifth man. Because Batman, the way he has been anchoring since game number 1, bringing the pistol was vital. And this team, look at them having a solid head start.
And why be a billionaire when you can just have skills instead, man? This man's insane. 4 kills back to back, especially on the pistol rounds. The one-way smoke, yes, especially they knew. I mean, Amigos knew that, you know, the Omen was going in for a second smoke. So they decided to fall back, and guess what happened? It just backfired. It just backfired. And next thing you know, it's just Batman just running chaos around all these 3 maps. Talking about it though, it's going to be even much more difficult because especially with the smoke being cleared out in towards mid, they're now currently applying pressure for Amigos. They did find out one, and with Breach out of board, an F-Noob currently holding in from B. He has all the abilities. There you go. Information will be given, but they're going to play it safe. And so is the Alamo bot giving information all the way from mid.
That's right, mid control, but in the hands of Decrite, he has Outlaw. And we all know one shot to the body equal to 140 damage. Regardless, things can change, but the corners needs to be checked. Juggy getting the weapon upgrade and taking down the Jet is just a big gaping hole for the entire team to yet again head towards side A. But they need to keep this one thing in mind, that because I'm Batman, he's still anchoring that side. Their best bet will be heading towards side B, and that's what they're doing. The entire choo-choo train, look at them just running ham. They're ready to head towards side B. And after the control has been seized, Lucid, he has to play the picture perfect stance here, but no.
Spike planted.
F-Noob, all of a sudden, he's caught off guard as well.
Yeah, mid is compromised, and with Amigos taking control of the entirety of mid, there is no other option for Team Zero Frags but to fall back and live to fight another day. And I have to ask, especially with that execute that we did get to witness from Amigo Esports, applying pressure towards mid, blocking off lines of sight to ensure that the Outlaw won't be able to, get an important frag or two. And it's a very dangerous weapon for an Outlaw. Just like you said, 145 damage. If one of the players had a light armor, that is more than enough to secure those important kills.
Oh, indeed. But it's all of those endeavors. They want the weapons to be dropped. They do not want to see the Bulldog coming in the next following round, but the Thrifty has been pulled right off. It's a beautiful round coming in. And Amigos, all of a sudden, they're even stevening the entire situation. No matter their buys, the way they conquer towards mid, that was just amazing to watch, Babagasta.
Yeah. They did try to, decrease some of the economy a little bit. Taking out one of the players will remove out one of the Bulldogs, which would force Team Zero Frags to force on an eco round. Only Batman has the Bulldog, and he could be the game maker, game changer moment, determine whether if he could secure a kill or two, fall back to safety, and get those upgrade weapons in which he will be able to, win those gunfights all the way from A long. Mid pressure will be given, and once again, I believe it is F-Noob who gets picked out immediately from KO. This could spell disaster.
Definitely Cyrax. Catwalk. He's inching close. He knows that the opponent can be there, but Lucid, his aim is just on point. Cyrax, he was right away from the animation, pulling out the gun, but could not do it right at the time. Chucky, now the entire team, as the focus is there towards side A, the spike, it's still waiting towards Catwalk. Batman, a backstab being unleashed from his end, knows that the opponent is not going to be checking his back. Gets the first one, but the second one needs to be on point. If he takes down Juggy, it's going to be a game changer, and he does! It's a Thrifty coming through! Zero frags! All of a sudden, the second round, the mistakes that they made, it has been capitalized. And now, it's a similar situation for Amigos. They don't have the money, they don't have the might to go ahead and convert the next following round. Batman, the game changer.
Yep, a huge drop on the stock market for Team Amigos as they'll lose quite a lot of economy from their end. I think they're actually going in for a force buy here. Cyrax going in with the Vandals, with full armors. You still have the Marshals from their end too, and Detroit prepped and ready. Like I said, Op is important. Detroit! My goodness, he was just present for a jump peek, and somehow it lands exactly at the body, securing the kill and facing even much more problems for Team Amigos.
Oh, good bait. Good bait. And from this bait, the entire catwalk, no matter how hard they push, it's not gonna look good at all. Clandestine, good frags all across, and now the entire team is thinking about rendezvousing their way towards side B.
Yeah. Only this time it's not Chamber, it could be Batman nonetheless. Headshot to take out the KO. And talking about time, it's definitely, it's going to be Team Amigos' arch nemesis because they are losing quite a lot. 40 seconds, it's a 2v5 situation. And I have to say for the Jet and the Omen, both of them, they're currently playing it safe. See if they can get an opening pick or two and hope for an opportunity to get those kills as fast as possible. But no, Batman once again, he just went in for a jump pick again and somehow he gets away with the headshot. The second one, no, unfortunately it does not. Ginola gets it, but unfortunately he doesn't have a lot of time left.
The HP also 20. And the situation is dicey. It's 82-20, not gonna lie. With 4-man stack, this entire team is just gonna be holding that angle to perfection. Detroit, yes, he's doing the heavy lifting, bringing in all of those early frags. But mind you guys, they had a very poor buy in this following round for the likes of Amigos. But still, they managed to drop one weapon. Which is not big entirely, but it's something.
Well, having at least some great values on that. I mean, it would have been more valuable if it was an economy round, but they went in for a force buy, which means that they had to waste Vandals, they had to waste Marshals. So
Here.
yeah, but either ways, it will be a full buy nonetheless from the side of Team Amigo. So they'll have some Guardians and Vandals along the end. But yeah, if they lose this round though, this would be the exact place where they have to force to go back on an eco round.
Exactly. Batman yet again, the anchor towards side A. Breaking down that entire shutter is important. Don't give the room or the comfort to the opponents that now all you have to do is sit inside the site and take the control. Nope. At the beginning itself, break it down. Paranoia in hand because I'm Batman waiting for the point of contact, but there is no point of contact whatsoever. Yet again, Amigos, this entire platoon is heading towards side B. They know they have to create some kind of chaos towards A and wait for at least one player to lurk from the shadow. And look at that. The KJ is waiting for that exact moment.
Yeah, timing is important. And Amigos are waiting for that exact important time. The suppression working out so well.
Oh!
The flash worked out, but it's still not enough. Pedestrian gets picked out, and here comes Lucid. Prowling away with the Odin as he secures an important kill from the wall bang. The
30
same wall
seconds
bang
left.
that Sova uses.
Oh no, this is big now. If the spike goes in the hands of Omen, he's gonna use from the shadows. Ginola, he can play a perfect stance. And previous to this, Batman used his ultimate in order to enter towards side B. And there comes from the shadows, Decoy decimating Neko. Now the entire hopes of at least controlling the site is already gone. Fnu way too close. He needs to spot the opponent, but no, he does not. It's Zeon who's quick on the trigger. Corners check. Batman, what are you doing? He does whiff the first shot, but after that it was just capitalization, abrupt, and blade storm in hand, but still nothing to do with it. It's a 1v2 situation where Lucid, he's stuck up on this task, but can he deliver with the Odin in his hand?
Heavy weapon like Odin is just basically an even much more opportunity for an easier shot. But if he finds that, it could be important. Ooh, classic headshot. I mean, it's not an headshot, just a simple body shot, but either ways, that could give them the boost that they require for Team Amigos to win this important round, taking out the Opper, securing the site, and also Ginola. There's some slight mishap, but not to worry, you still have the classic.
But that's one thing which I cannot say for Lucid. He thought, let me just reload the Odin. That Brogdonagian weapon reload takes around 1.5 to 2 seconds. And in the midst of all of that, he hit the reload button. But all right, ZEROFRAGS, they did stumble in the previous one. Even though Decoy did a good job in holding the opponents to barge in towards the side, but it was not enough.
Yeah. Right now, they're going to play it safe. Amigos, once again, they found the opportunity. They've got the economy back. They even have the AWP. Now, Cyrax will be the biggest threat for ZEROFRAGS. They've got to find a way to neutralize this one particular thing. Information, I believe they heard some footsteps. Jumpings will be made. So is Decoy. And let's see whether if he could get the shot or not.
It's all about the F-Noob's timing. If he manages to squeeze a couple of frags, it's going to be big. There's a decoy right towards the mid. That is the alarm bot. And he himself is on those benches, waiting for the opponent to set foot towards mid, towards the staircase area. Because on Batman, yet again, he wants that early insight and he will get it as well, as the entire team is heading towards site A. Earlier to this, they did have a switcheroo, they did go towards B, and now they're always on this entire task of heading directly towards the site itself. Null Command being utilized, and with that comes those frags as well. Karastine did manage to find one player who's lurking towards Catwalk, and he successfully gets the opponent as well. But the HP is way too low. Cyrax, the moment he sees one man moving through the smoke, he takes him down. 2v4 and a retake. Baba Gusta, what do you think? Possible? Not possible?
I would say not possible though, because the way how Zeno held things out on mid-top, just, wasting a lot of time for the opposition team to go in for that quick rotate was just really well done. Not only removing the KJ, but also stalling time for the player who was trying to go in with that execute from a shot. Not execute, just a simple shot one. Clandestine, he gets one head, he'll be able to pick out one of the players, but it's in a 2v3 situation. I believe ZEROFRAG are just going in for the save, They are currently saying that, you know what, it's not worth it. Let them get the win. We'll fight for another day.
And mind you guys, if you're in defense, whenever you're starting in defense, you need to get those rounds on your name. It's not going to work out for the best if you lose majority of the rounds in defense and then think about capitalizing in attack. Finally, the defenders have taken the time out to rethink, re-strategize onto what went wrong. There are whiffs coming through. Clandestine, trust me, if he had good HP, he would have definitely gone in for that retake itself. But eventually, he fell prey against the lurking KJ. He got down to mere 30 HP, and after that, there is no coming back. 3-on-3, ladies and gentlemen. ZEROFRAGS. They did commit a couple of mistakes, even though they had a banger of a start from the first round to the third round. The way things just swung across and went into their court, it was phenomenal. But later on, it is AMIGOS' map. So they know what needs to be done, and they're doing it very well.
Yeah. I mean, talking about the timeout itself, this could be crucial for the side of Team ZEROFRAGS to figure out a way to, try to dismantle it. Because the way how they went for that execute, the way how they've managed to, block out most of the rotations for most of the defenders to go back towards the site, made it more impactful in a way that they had, no other choice but to remove the player from the mid, and then they get to focus on towards the A side. So time is always your greatest ally, or it could be your greatest enemy. It could be either both of them. He's basically the 7th player, and it's just time.
7th player, all right. In a game of 5, we have the 7th player.
He's basically
But
the
it's all
Joker.
right.
He's basically the
Yeah,
Joker.
he's a joker. Yes, can play either of the sides. But yeah, very well said there, Augusta. But it's all about the execution now. The Odin in hand, because I'm Batman. Quick on the trigger. Detroit on the other end manages to shut down Cyrax. This is a big blunder and a half. And now AMIGOS is feeling the heat. The timeout worked out for the best. The control towards Catwalk. It's definitely gonna go for the first one, but the flash is good. But Xenon, good for 2. Blind as a bat. He's the actual Batman, getting a couple of frags, even stevening the entire situation. But Xenon, he should not be running this quick. It's Lucid is holding the angle. You should have checked your corners, buddy. And this is where the entire round is just gonna dwindle back, man. The kahunas on this man, it's on next level, paranoia in hand. And now look at Juggy. He has no idea what's going on.
I mean, he's all by his lonesome. I mean, he has an off. He has a chance. It's a 1v2. Hunter's Fury could definitely help. Does he have the info? No, he had info, but unfortunately, the time to get that shot was a little bit too late. You have to wait for it to go in for the shot, but unfortunately, it did not. But what a way to bring out an explosive kills from the side of ZEROFRAG, and a really great attempt though from Xeon to try to do damage control in a way that they'll be able to get away with some certain kills. But the way how we get to see both Batman and FNU playing side by side, not only providing info but having each other's back, is much more powerful. As you get to see, the line of sights from the side of ZEROFRAG is exceptional.
The only way to enter towards the site or use the lockdown to perfection is gonna be towards site A. If they use it towards B, then it's gonna be broken down in an instance. There's Odin in the hands of Lucid owns you. And the close-knit angles. Detroit still holding it, waiting for the pixel, and the moment there's gonna be one sliver of a player spotted, he's gonna take his shots. But the smoke, it has avoided the conundrum, giving the entire site away. But the corners, oh my god, Detroit, that was a no scope, and he gets it through. A big blunder by Cyrax, but a backstab coming in. Good control altogether.
Down B.
It's a 3-on-3. This battle is not gonna end. Xeon, he has the ultimate. He can go in for the lockdown if he needs to do it in perfection. Taking down one by one the corners. It is Clandestine who's currently being the menace. Lockdown being utilized, and there comes the aftershock.
One enemy remaining.
This would be an even much more
Rolling
difficult
back.
situation though for AMIGOS. It's a 1v3 all up to Ginola. Taps on the head. Will he get a second chance opportunity? He's going against Clandestine. Classics up. All he has to do is find the head.
Oh!
He does it! The clutch from Ginola. 1v3, 4-4, equalized on map number 2 Ascent. What a way to bring it back here.
Well, true. The Rolling Thunder did come into the picture.
Yep.
But eventually it faded away. Did not give any kind of opportunity. But Zeon, my goodness, how was he unchecked? There was an alarm bot previous to this, always waiting towards the mid areas, but no, it did not work out. Ginola, the clutch lord, Agent 47 was sent right here to get this round. And look at Amigos. Look at that. The happiness on his face.
Yep. That is the happiness of an important clutch being delivered. A very important one to bring this match back on track. It's going to be even much more tougher for the side of from the side of ZEROFRAGS, because they had this under control. They even expended both of those utilities, but unfortunately it didn't quite work out well in their end. Currently we have both of the trays being picked out. One is the Duelist, the Jet, and the Initiator from the side of Amigos. So getting information will be difficult, so they have to do this the old school way.
A cheeky way. The shorties waiting for any point of contact. But if they're far, things can go haywire. Lucid, this can be the best bet that he can go ahead and win. All he needs to do is find that perfect angle. He is going to rush forward, knows that the opponent can be in front, but he takes him down. Zeon, this time he cannot go ahead and run inside the site and get all of those frags. Neko did get the mid control, and with that, the floodgates of B are open.
The shotgun positionings, you really need to be careful, especially when you kept a shorty. But here comes Hunter's Fury trying to dismantle the plant, in which unfortunately it will be unsuccessful. 2 HP remains. Ginola will go in for the plant. All it requires is just 4 seconds
left.
to go in for the plant. Post plant will be present. It's a 4v3. Let's see how well Amigos can hold their ground.
It's still possible. Lucid knew that the opponent is going to be there. Shot dart, and there goes Neko. Cyrax, way too low on HP. And he has the Blade Storm in his hand. Perfect smokes, knows that now is the time to barge right inside the site. Even if they go inside with the collateral damage, they can go ahead and do something big. They can go on exchanges, but the back needs to be checked. F-Noob, he started, it does the 6-man job, and there comes the 5th round for the likes of ZEROFRAGS. Oh my god! F-Noob just makes his presence known everywhere.
God. There's your 8th player, by the way. There's your 8th player, the KJ turret, here to save the day. And man, oh man, that would have been so important though for, that would have been so important for Cyrax. I'm not gonna lie. Like, he had everything under control. Bladestorm was present, his location was unknown. All 4 of them just lined up perfectly for those shots. And then you have those KJ turrets just like smiling in maniacal intent. It's like one of those moments where it'd be like, you think you're gonna do an ace? Well, guess what? Karma. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
I was about to say burst.
Yeah, burst.
Burst shots, but
Burst
then
shots,
karma
yeah.
sounds much better when it comes to this situation.
I mean, I wouldn't say
Yeah.
it's an unfortunate situation, but if that KJ turret wasn't even present, look, the amount of important plays that the Cyrax would have done, that would have been like the play or maybe a crucial highlights where we could have witnessed it. I mean, that would have been huge though for the Jet. Yeah,
We're going to witness that.
we will.
Thanks to the
we
KJ
definitely
turret.
will. Yeah, thanks to the KJ turret. Yeah, the KJ turret is basically the villain of the story.
That missed. Talking about Batman, he's sitting at the top of the leaderboard.
As a controller.
As a controller. My goodness. Previous to this, he used to run Neon. But the moment Neon got nerfed, he's like, nope, I'm going to take the controller role and I'm going to use Omen as Neon. Teleporting his way through, getting all of those frags. And look at him, he's still ready to go ahead and get those fights. Knows that the opponent has a weaker economy. And one by one, the entire team is crumbling down into bits and pieces. Ginola, he's just jumping. He's bunny hopping his way towards the site. Neko, beautiful shot onto F-Noob. But that's the max that they can provide.
2v4, Bladestorm still not available. Maybe there's a chance.
All right, I take my words back.
But never mind. Batman's here. Batman's here when, he's just here to save the day once again, all the way from A shot. it's like, although there was some slight chances that Cyrax would have ended up, getting those important kills, but the problem always comes down with the man count, right? Especially when you're in a 2v4 situation.
True.
Even though if you did get two to three kills, even if you did secure the site, what about the amount of damage you've been dealt with KJ's Alarma bot and the nano swarms? Even being on less amount of HP, the chances of securing that clutch is reduced all the way up to 50 to 20%. So it's even much more difficult. Suppression, unfortunately, won't be able to catch Batman as the pressure continues all the way from A long. So let's see whether if it could work out or not.
Oh no. The execution. It's all about that weight now. Zeon, good pick towards mid itself, getting the catwalk control, and he's heading forward in a speedy pace, gets the second one. Clandestine. This opens the doorway towards tree. And this is big. Batman, if his location is going to be unchecked, things can fall apart. But nope, it's Neko who knows all of the shenanigans. Entire site given for the likes of Amigos.
No other choice but to fall back once again. There's actually a meme that I'm remembering right now. Friendship with Neon has come to an end. Now Zeon is my best friend. So I'm pretty much sure that if I have to look at some practices or practice sessions of how to focus on my aim and how to understand positioning, I would definitely look at Zeon's perspective though. I'm not gonna lie. The way how he's been delivering those important kills time and time again, especially on the early rounds, getting those early frags, securing those sites. But it's mostly done on full buy rounds, but not on economy. So Zeon has been trying his level best to try to get those kills. But right now, if you take a look at the economy, especially in the first half, it's 6-5, very close. F-Noob, he gets away with one, but that's the only value that he's going to ever get, because this will be the last round of the first half.
Finally. Till now, the competition looks so fierce. Can head for a 7-5 or it can go to a 6-6. These are the two possible outcomes. And there's no butterfly effect to it. ZEROFRAGS, 3 big ultimates. One as an expensive recon from the shadows, lockdown in order to flush the entire enemy team out, but the control is going to be taken from the likes of Decoit itself. Starting, taking down Zeon, it was big, and with that, the KJ is now going to be into the picture.
Lockdown is present, so are the players from AMIGOS Esports, having to figure out whether if they would commit for an execute or fall back. But no, they are going to fall back. But here comes Batman all the way from the back side. It's like they're reading it like a book. Low on HP, somehow he gets away with the kill, while Cyrax and Echo gets to both of them. And now they're making a way to go all the way back in towards the A side to head in for that execute.
This is big. All of a sudden, shifting of tides. Detroit is way too low on HP. F-Noob, good for 1, good for 2, but the third one is going to be tough. Cyrax, he can reset his fellow teammate, and he is planning to do that, but before he does, it's Lucid owning up to the task of delivering the 7th for ZEROFRAGS. Oh my god.
That's a flying Odin right there. He just flies away. But you thought Batman is the only one who can glide to safety? Well, guess what? Here comes a flying Sova. Just jumping towards the right side and just peeking out and say, hello. There you go. Boom, says the Odin. And Sova definitely will have a smile on his face, ending the first half on a 7-5. I've got to say, for ZEROFRAGS, their job's not over just yet though, especially in the second half. Team Amigos, they've secured at least 5 rounds on attack. Now we just need to see whether if ZEROFRAGS can dominate on attack, or would we get to witness the side of Team Amigos do the same thing on their defense.
See, in order for ZEROFRAGS to function well in attack side, Clandestine needs to play his heart out. So far, I could see only once the Rolling Thunder, but other than that, I can see all of those frags coming through. ZEROFRAGS yet again, they're having the upper hand. Juggy does manage to shut down one player, but 2 of them are already inside the side. The backstage will be checked. Getting the third Juggy, it can be a potential clutch coming in from his end, as there's a mid lurk coming in. F-Noob, he's still making his way through towards market, and finally it's Juggy shutting him down. This is the 4th, and we could see the similar side But for the likes of Because I'm Batman, and now he's against the wrath of Juggy, can be a potential ace, but no, stolen is what Cyrax tells. And there is the dream of 5K to a 4K.
That is one, like, I mean, basically I have a word for it. It's called a juggle master. Especially the way how Juggy just goes in for individual gunfights, one by one. He goes in towards mid, individual gunfight, one. There's another player, individual gunfight, all the way from side. He gets the second, he gets the third. So being able to, categorize into focusing more on winning individual gunfights rather than head in, guns blazing, while there's around like 2 or 3 players currently waiting for you to peek and get picked out. This is a really good way to basically say how you manage in those important gunfights, whether if it's positionings, whether if it's other stuff. But let's not forget about F-Noob's Sheriffs with those crispy headshots to immediately take out Juggy out of the equation, and Ginola doing the same part to take out both Clandestine and Detroit.
Oh, it's just a matter of fragfest. It's a manslaughter right now. Ginola knows that the control needs to be seized towards tree area, gets the third one as well, paranoia in hand. No matter what happens, the classic won't work, and it's Ginola getting the fourth. Last man, where is he? I wonder where he is. Waiting for Xeon? Alright. Giving away the second potential round. Amigos seizes back-to-back rounds. 7-7, ladies and gentlemen. It's an equalizer coming through. But now is the time where Zero Frags are going to knock onto the doors of Amigos as they finally have those buys.
Yep. They'll have enough economy for the side of Team Amigos. More than enough weapon to get themselves the op, and much more problems for Zero Frags to utilize their abilities in a way that they could block or disorient that important line of sight. But
why would you?
For a full-on rush.
Why would you do that? And this rush all of a sudden looks like there's a full stop to that rush. Juggy, boathouse. This angle can never be contested. If Juggy plays it to perfection, he can deal a lot of damage. As you all can see, dishing on to Batman. Those damages are gonna be in effect real soon, but it's a 1v1 all of a sudden. F-Noob against Juggy, and it's F-Noob winning it! Fair and square with 4 frags nonetheless. He managed the control from market to main and all of that into boathouse.
Just, let's not forget that this execute almost went haywire, right? Both of them went down. You had an amazing shot from Juggy, and then you have F-Noob. It's like, it's just a basic cover-up. It's like, you guys just go in for an execute. I got it covered. I got the backup. You have damage control. You have everything. You don't have to worry about, losing quite a lot of players, because what they wanted was just apply pressure, was just try to get info. And with that info, they did somehow manage to not only decrease the numbers of man count, but they also figured out a way to do something about it. But here comes Hunter's Fury from Juggy, hoping to find at least a player or two. So Detroit will be a bit difficult. The pressure applied from mid will be huge. So I'm pretty sure that the side of Amigos, they'll be really careful in the next round.
Pacing the way forward. There's one player still waiting at the backlines, holding the mid control. Detroit gets the first one, but this time Xeon won't be able to get that control towards boathouse. One by one, they're giving away the entire control. 4 players stacked up towards the site, and it's a post-plant scenario. Neko, what can you do? You have a frag bin. All you have to do is aim and shoot it at the right place. But will you get that room or the space, as Batman is at the backline just waiting for the right opportunity? He whiffs his shot, but it's F-Noob just capitalizing, knowing that his angles are going to be sublime. 3-man squad peeking Neko, and Neko just crumbles in fear.
2 attack rounds back to back, and both of those rounds was a very heavy, aggressive execute, working out perfection. Although the previous round, it worked out flawlessly. There was no problems, no hiccups, and it was almost a perfect execute, which was a 5v2 situation. So the problem for the side of Amigos has to be in towards mid, because the pressure that they applied from previous round was quite a lot, and that pressure is going to get it to them even on the next future rounds as well. Maybe if this round doesn't work out, it would be best to hopefully go in for a timeout. Maybe go for a timeout. I believe, the side of Zero Frags, they've already utilized one of their timeouts, which means that from the side of Amigos, they have one. They could use it if they lose this round. but maybe, who knows, we'll be able to see it.
Whoa, the angles. Ginola managed to get at least one, but here's a factoid of Babagusta, that both the switcheroos, which is Breach and KO, both are not doing that well in this map. But you talk about the other 4 agents, they've been able to do their maximum. They're giving the actual benefit of them taking those agents. I need to see them step up. That's where things are going to dwindle around. Amigos, for them, KO needs to function and give that early insight and suppress whoever is heading towards the site. For now, I've seen the null command being used once to perfection, but other than that, I haven't seen more in any of those parts. And that flash was just amazing. Xeon, blind as a bat, taken down, and the entire control is taken right away from the hands of Amigos. No matter what they do, the attackers are playing it perfectly.
Once again, they only have certain.
How did you know that?
It's just, I don't know.
Check MPC, Lucid, what?
Just how? Like, he just be like, you know what, since I know Max really good, how about I just bounce from one position to the other? Guess what? He gets a kill out of nowhere.
You know what I want to say?
Yeah?
Trigonometry.
Please, not the Max.
Geometry.
You do know that I use fingers to count, right? But either way, it's an unfortunate situation though for Jagge. Going to be, he will get at least one of the frags, but he will end up getting traded off from Batman nonetheless. So 10-7 in the second half. Almost a really good attempt from Ginola, where he did get that important frag out. But then eventually, once they head in towards post-plant, that's where they lost their ground. But at least it really had some great value out of it, because they did remove at least 2 or 3 players out in the process.
Trajectory.
Oh my god.
I was just waiting for this. Yeah. But guys, for you out there, if you want to upgrade your PC, go for the Crucial's latest DDR5 5600 CL46 RAMs. It delivers 1.75 times faster performance than a DDR4 RAM. So might as well upgrade your PC. Alongside, there are some SSDs as well. Do check out the description below. It's from our beloved Crucial. And we all know their products are a banger right now.
Absolutely amazing. Make sure to check out. Link is down in the description below. And yeah, we'll just have to wait for...
Yeah, pinned in chat as well, guys.
Yeah, it's also in the pinned chat as well, folks. Just make sure to, check it out. But yeah, coming back into the game, second map Ascent, we can clearly see that Team ZEROFRAGS are 3 rounds closer of securing match number 1 for the Showdown series. And you can clearly see the way how, Batman and... even the Sentinel KJ has been performing really well in the second half. And like you said, the initiators that you'd expect from Team Amigos, especially from the KO, he hasn't been, the abilities are quite not working out well from their end, especially from null commands and the, just like I said, the suppression knife not being able to suppress the important, agent that they require. So yeah, we'll see. Let's see how well it would work out on round number 18.
Indeed. Detroit yet again, waiting for the mid control to be seized, expecting that one of the players are going to be a bit antsy and desperate in order to get that round, get that man count advantage. Still moving forward. As you all know, the split does work usually. One towards mid, couple of players from either of the sides, which is A and B both. Ginola's angle, it's going to be very vital till the very end. Oh, but this smoke was a flop.
Yeah. I mean, especially when you have a smoke, it needs to make sure that it's one-sided, a one-way smoke. And it should be able to get to, look at the leg portions of the opponents. And since that smoke didn't quite work out well, it expected it to be, it just blocks its lines of vision. So it works out either ways. But wait a minute, you still have a mid-aggressive push coming in from ZEROFRAGS' side.
But here's the thing, miscommunication is what I can see. The fragment is only given once to you in the entire game. And losing that is definitely gonna affect you a lot. But all of these effective situations, it seems like Amigos, they had the man count advantage. It all of a sudden turned to an equalizer. Batman, angle sublime, but it's Neko with the fast peak. The Ferrari peak always beats it, but Detroit, he's still there to save the day. It's a 2v2 and a post plant coming in the mere seconds. Ginola,
Spike
a
planted.
backstab being initiated. He has from the shadows. He can create a big deviation, cause chaos in the minds of the attackers. And if he manages to do that, it can be a big round for them. But Decroid, he checks him at the right corner.
Oh, no.
Juggy is stunned yet again. Falls towards the logs, and he can fall prey to any of these shots coming forward.
no.
Oh, he clutches! He clutches!
Not ready yet.
He... Oh my god! Decroid! He thought that the opponent just swung and he used all of his blaze storm knives.
For this, I make an exception.
Oh,
You know, for
No.
a brief moment, I thought history repeated itself with the amazing fault line where I did remember on map Haven, especially with the shorty from Clandestine, but man oh man, a 1v2. Wow, that I did not expect. Amigos, they just earned themselves an extra life.
and this life might push things towards overtime or potentially win this map as well. This is big coming in from Juggy. Delivers, brings the round for the entire team. Having that ironclad rule that I'm not going to be peeking more than this. The flash were on point, but it doesn't matter. All the control has been seized right off. Zero frags, man count disadvantage. They have the ultimates, but they're not going to be utilizing in this particular round. If it is going to be possible, then that's only one way, by taking down 3 opponents and then somehow converting things.
Yeah, currently right now, Batman just here to pick out two kills all the way from B long, but now there's also players that are holding on from A long as well. So once they make a push, you need to make sure that you shouldn't make a single mistake. Spectres are very powerful in close range. Ginola patiently waiting for the right time. Sees the head with no F noob. What an out of nowhere headshot, but Neck also does the same too, taking out F noob in the process. It's 10-8. It's a 2v2. What's going to happen here?
Good smokes all across. Wanted to go ahead and nullify at least a player or two, but the angles is going to be contested. Hunter's Fury is available, and both the players are coming in from one single direction. If there was a flank, and at the moment where Lucid owns you goes ahead for his ultimate, that's where things could go in. But there comes a null command being popped right off. 3 seconds and 4 seconds. It'll keep ticking till the very end. He wanted to take the fight, but he's not gonna win that, as Juggy, his confidence is through the roof after the previous round.
You fail.
Yep, and that is more than enough to give the hopes and dreams for Team Amigos to keep fighting on. 10-9. Now I have to say there was some slight mistakes being made from the side of Team ZeroFrag. Mainly because, especially when you head in for a plant, it would have been best to play safe as possible, or maybe try to be in towards the side rather than applying pressure once again towards the heaven, which it did ended up being its downfall. And I believe I can also understand that the door was closed, so he had no other choice but to head in towards that heaven. But all in all, if both of them were in the site, maybe they could have had a chance, but this round maybe we could see some slight changes though. Cyrax hoping for a blind shot towards mid, but turns out the aggressiveness from Team ZeroFrag they're going to apply it all the way from A side. You still have 2 players from mid. You even have almost all of the lines of sight being crossed out. Neko will still be there, somehow salvaging the kill off from that important kill and falling back to safety. And here comes Jackie all the way from the backside. The Hunter's Fury finding one, but Cyrax, unfortunately, his op shot is not working out well. This is the second shot he's missed, and if he keeps missing, it would be even much more detrimental. Ginola comes back all the way from the backside. He finds one. The spike's been dropped. They have the information. Now it's a 2v5.
Last player standing.
Just one mistake, and look at the entire team skedaddling their way through, not knowing what needs to be done. Amigos, Chuggy, absolute backbone and a banger of a performance. And after that, flawlesses are coming through from 10-8 to a 10-10. And they're calling in the timeout. Finally, Batman waking up from the slumber, thinking what needs to be done, resetting their mind alongside their entire weaponry as well. It needs to be a complete refresh, because that mistake, it did not go unchecked.
Yep. So, you're back in the Batcave. They have their drawing boards, and they're now changing their strategies to determine which one would be best, because going in guns blazing 3 rounds in a row is never really a good idea, and just leave it to RNGesus, because it usually doesn't work most of the time. So they have to figure out a way. They need to figure out a way to, at least try to focus on getting those early picks, maybe taking out Cyrax, or maybe try to play it safe. But all those 3 rounds, risky ones. Team Zero Frag, it's 10-10. Team Amigos, they can also fling back as well on the second map. But all in all, it just relies on this important round. And that's the main reason why we get to see a timeout being used from none other than Zero Frag. This moment would be the important moment to determine whether if the side of Team Zero Frags can put themselves back up on the lead, or would we get to see Team Amigos do the same thing. Only time will tell, folks. And once the timer takes down all the way from 10 seconds, we'll be able to see that right away.
This round should be a potential break. Zero Frags, if they lose this round, it's done right dusted. Amigos, they are captivating in every single situation that is right presented in front of them. And that's what makes them such a good team. So far, so good. In the first map, they could not go ahead and showcase their performance. It's all right. But in the second one, they're giving the fight of their life.
Currently, we'll be having a tech pause from the side of Amigos Esports. So once their issue has been, once the issue has been fixed, hopefully we'll be able to, resume back match number 21. And I have to say, for Amigos Esports, they have come a long way, especially in the second half. We did get to see major mishaps. We did get to see those major mishaps being a boon for the side of Team Amigos. And I have to say, it was a really important one, though, I'm not going to lie. Because of those 2 important clutches, we wouldn't be able to witness Team Zero Frags be in the situation as they are now.
Indeed. It's truly testing their patience. And who said Ascent is easy? It's not. It's about the composition. It's about how you can go ahead and manage the flow. And currently, the flow has been diverted into 2 ways. One towards the KO and the other one towards the breach. And both of them being that perfect asset for this entire meta, they need to perform. We could see Neko getting the earlier picks in the previous 2 rounds, thanks to the confidence that the entire team has gained as of now, that they can beat Zero Frags as they're running mayhem since the beginning of the rounds. Talking about Haven, talking about Ascent, and now the 21st round is going to be super vital for Zero Frags, as Amigos already has that confidence and they have the momentum to move forward, and they're steamrolling it right now. They're just continuously keeping one thing in check, that is going in for those aggressive peaks and winning those 1v1s.
And also, let's not forget about the pistol rounds at that too. Most of the pistol rounds that we did get to witness from Team Amigos is that, going in for those individual gunfights, like I talked about previously, it definitely did, help them in their economy. Then it started to fall down just a little bit from when Zero Frags did get the advantage. They just kept, continuously pressuring them, providing, a lot of paranoia towards the enemy side, where you'd never know what would happen. But doing the same thing over and over again would usually end up the side of Amigos adapting to the situation, because if you keep doing it for around 4 to 5 times, they'd obviously expect it. They know at what position you'd push in. They know at what position to place their utilities. And obviously, we did get to see that Llama bot doing wonders on mid, not only providing information, but also being in a vulnerable state that could end up in securing it in 2 shots for Vandal instead of 3. So being in a vulnerable state is not also a good idea, because it gives much more chances for the opposition team to gather much more success. But hopefully, with the round being in play, round 21 is a go, and looks like the pressure from Zero Frag still continues, except for F-Noob, who's currently from the mid, currently being as the best lurker as possible, being able to take out the Llama bot as best as possible. The push will happen nonetheless, and from the side of Zero Frags, let's see how well it would work out for them.
It's a 2-way applied pressure. Ginola still holding the angle, takes some shots. Yes, Detroit, he is way too low on HP. Pop flash coming through, but before he could do that, Batman, he swings, but he never misses. Getting the entire side in control, and there comes the post plant. There's still one man who was lurking from the shadows. But now, all of a sudden, he's going to be calculating his pathways, heading back after the lockdown being implemented. It's from both the sides. It's all about the control now. Detroit, the angle, he's in. Currently, nobody can spot him. He's gonna get the first one, and Batman, the elevated angle is for sure gonna give the perfect benefit of the doubt. And ZEROFRAGS, just like that, they get their 21st round on their name. The timeout has worked. The stopping of the momentum, it finally has showcased us something.
And also a really great way for the Jet to determine exactly at what time would they go in for that push. Especially when you have an enemy killjoy, you need, especially when the timer ticks down all the way up to 3 seconds, that's the exact place where most of the players would head in for those executes. But it would have been better if they, goes in for, flashes or most of the other important abilities that would help them, win most of their executes. But unfortunately, they didn't have it. Quite a lot of damage been dealt around for F-Noob, especially with the shock dart dealing major damage, which forces F-Noob to play it a little bit safe. Ginola being in a very aggressive spot. Unfortunately gets picked off from Detroit, and this could cause dangers once again for Team Amigos.
It's a big one. The smoker is gone. No more control to be seized in Detroit. He's just decimating the opponents again and again. Cyrax, he is maintaining the line of defense, gets the third one, and he's moving his attention towards Haven yet again. Cloudburst in picture, but it's not going to be that accurate. Jockey on the other end. He's the man delivering for the team. Clandestine, the last man standing, but could not go in for the post-plant scenario just yet. He knows he needs to take down opponents one by one, but his HP is way too low. Understanding the entire commotion. Couple of players, the swing is gonna be absolutely amazing as is a duck, and there's one player standing as well. 11th on board and the score line. It's wish time, Baba Gasta.
Yep. Let's make a wish. What do you wish for?
I wish for Christmas to come soon.
Oh, come on. It's just 10 days. Just wait for it.
Come
or maybe
soon.
wait. Yeah. I mean, 23rd is the grand finals of the season, right? Just wait for 2 more days. I mean, we'll have Christmas soon enough. But also, I wish for happiness as well in the other hand. Anyways, 11-11. Let us see from the side of ZEROFRAGS. The timeout really did work, but when it comes to the momentum, it quickly shifted back all the way up from the side of Team Amigos. A really well performance from Cyrax. 3 shots back to back, and yeah, it was really difficult though for them to even recover those situations. This op will be even much more problematic. He finds one. That's F-Noob. There goes your lurker, and now it's just chaos, just screwing around the other side, and Neko immediately reading Detroit like a book towards the A shot, providing the opportunity they need, and looks like we might head into map number 3 here.
Oh, we have a winner. We have a winner. Ginola. His one-way smokes are working out to be the best there is. And I don't know why the imminent B coming through right from the bats of Batman. Why? Why would he do that? He should have thought, give it a process, think about what's just happening. But the moment they could process what's going on, it's his 12th on board.
Yep, match point is in for the side of Team Amigos. 1 round away for map number 3 and 3 rounds away. Actually, no, I think it's 2 rounds away. See, maths.
It's 1 round away.
I mean, it's 2 rounds for ZEROFRAGS to end it on a 2-0 is what I was trying to say. Unfortunately, you know,
here's the thing. If ZEROFRAGS gets 2 rounds, it goes to an overtime. They need 2 more in order to win. And yeah, that's how the entire thing goes through. Detroit, okay.
I'm sorry, what?
Bucky plays in picture with a Jet. I mean, usually we see Raze do that, but it's Jet this time around.
I mean, you also have the Blade Storm too. So if you want to engage in those long-range gunfights, you might as well have a weapon that has a close-range weapon with a one-shot capability. So I can clearly understand why you'd have a Bucky in the first place. But yeah, important picks. Jet is still alive and kicking, but at the hands of a controller, which is a very important kill. Taking out the controller means no lines of sight to block. They can only rely on flashes, in which KO is still present.
But there comes the smoke. But it's of the opponents. It's just for Neko to go ahead and seek for the repositioning of himself as the entire train is heading towards side B. Flushing out, giving that idea that we are present towards A main. We're going to pounce in any moment. And right after that, cutting off the sound and heading towards B. It's Juggy who can play that
30
perfect
seconds
role
left.
of an anchor. 17 seconds for his recon dart to come into the picture, and I believe it's going to be way too late for him to do anything, but he gets a shot onto Detroit, decimates him down. There comes a shutter, shutting things down right in front of Juggy.
Still has one shock
10
dart.
seconds left.
Still has the info from Recon. He might be able to get away with some information,
Spike
but the amount
planted.
of abilities that's been placed just from that shutter is it's just too much. How would you deal with the execute that could happen from the attackers?
It's going to be tough. Neko finds one, but there's trades coming back and forth. Juggy playing the perfect role here. 1v3 is what we can look at. If Noob, he's still stuck in this task, but he needs to defeat more than 2 players, which is not going to be possible as Xeon, he was alive and kicking till the very end, shuts him down and gets a round. So yes, Ascent has been a boon for the likes of Amigos, and hence we are going to go to the third map, Baba Gusta.
Yep, map number 3 is the map that binds this together. I know I said this joke back in the dry run itself, but to be honest, I have to say map number 2, it's really a really great matchup from Team Amigos to end things off. And I have to say for the side of Amigos, especially Jaga, who's currently playing as the Sova, how many times did he get caught from those fault lines? It's not just on this map specifically, even on previous maps, right? Map number 1, map number 2, Jaga was just constantly concussed every single time, but somehow he bounces back, even with the amount of bombarded abilities that's been placed through, even towards the shutters. Jaga is like, you know what? Take your time. Take your time. I'll just wait for the perfect moment. You guys go in for the plant. I'm just stalling time so that I could bring in my own teammates, so that once we head in for the push, we have all the necessary abilities. We can block line of sights, we can go in for the flashes, and we can go in for the dash and get those kills. That's exactly what he did.
Juggy, aka Juggernaut. I usually call him Juggernaut itself. That
Did I just call him Jagga?
He's a walking tank,
Yeah, absolutely.
Whenever
Sorry
it
about
comes to being Sova, he knows what needs to be done. He gets that recon dart on point, and right after that, the follow-up coming with the Odin. We all know whenever we pick an Odin, it's like, no, why did you do that? The opponents are just going to be so toxic on you. But here's the thing, right? When you have the upper advantage, might as well go ahead and use it. Paper thin walls, Ascent, and that's how things have been dwindling around. And at the end, ZEROFRAGS, that one big mistake did cost him the entirety of the map.
Absolutely. Even having a certain types of weapons also changes the way of the game, right? It's not always Vandals and Phantoms that could help you change the pace of the games, right? Because especially when you have a thing called as economy, you need to figure out a way to have which certain weapons would be good in which certain situations. If you want to play close range, sure, you can go with Sheriff with a proper proper shot to the head. Or maybe if he's very in close range, you can have Shorty, you can have Bucky, you can have Judge. If you have a lot of problems with aiming problems, of course, you can go with the Judge. It's really good, you can just move around. But of course, it's been, nerfed to oblivion, but it still works. For Bulldog, yes. For mid-range fights. For
Right.
Marshall, for certain situations, say like if you want to go in for a very high risk, a high risk, high reward Marshall would work, Outlaws would work. Every single weapon has its own purpose, and it's up to the team to determine which round would be good for which certain type of economy. And I have to say, for the side of Team Amigos, they did it really well.
Modern problem requires modern solution.
Absolutely.
And with that, we have plethora of weapons. It's all about how well you play around with them. There are a few players who are very comfortable around Phantom, even though it has been buffed. People have been loving it to the point where they are just running around with Phantoms. even though they know the entire information that through the smoke also they're not going to be detected at all. But whereas if it is a Vandal, that's going to be traced right across. You will know where he's shooting from, and hence you can pre-fire and get a potential easy frag. But talking about the way Juggy has been getting those rounds, right after 10-8, getting the 10-9 was very vital for Amigos. Even though ZEROFRAGS took a timeout towards 11th round, they could not do much. They could squeeze in here and there, they could get those frags, but eventually it just faded. It could not go in for that everlasting side of the entire moon. So I was just hoping that, okay, ZEROFRAGS, now they have the momentum from the first map, they can shut this entire scenario down with the 2-0, but eventually it did not work out. It's the time for Amigos to showcase yet another map, and Bind is a place where we're going to see how things are going to shape up to be, or, well, yeah, all of that hard work, whether it's in vain or they have done it for a really good time.
Yeah, Bind, I would say that when it comes to an agent pick, we might, see Brimstone or maybe a double controller that could be in place. So we might see a mixture of Brimstone or Viper, or maybe we could see Brimstone and Harbor, in which you'll be able to block out a lot of line of sights. The only difference is that in Bind, you have a teleporter, which means you'll be able to quickly get on site as fast as possible, which leads to so many situations where both the attackers and defenders could be in major trouble. But all in all, I have to say, map number 2, really well done. But hopefully on map number 3, we'll be able to determine whether if Team Amigos, just like you said, whether they could pick up the pace, just like how Juggy did with that important clutch, right? A 1v2 clutch. That was important, and maybe we'll get to see it in the crucial moments once we get the screen as much as possible. But yeah, I just want to add that. That's it.
But here's the thing, right? We're going to look at the individual scores as well. Let's move in towards the scorecard and understand what just happened in the entire map. We were waiting for this moment since a really long time. 11-13, Amigos sealing the deal in Ascent. Sova, aka Juggy, my goodness, you give this man Sova and he'll show you how all of those trajectories work, the geometries work, and the symmetry as well.
I don't know anything about Max. Max teacher, if you are watching the stream, I apologize, but I do my level best to use my fingers to count. But all in all, thank you for teaching me, Max teacher. I really appreciate it. Anyhow, 11-13, I have to say, Juggy 19 kills in total, 22 for Batman, especially in the first half. The smokes were really good. The way how he recovered those rounds by applying quite a lot of pressure towards mid-top was very influential. And I have to say, from the side of ZEROFRAGS, they did their level best. And of course, who would be the MVP? Than Batman himself. 22 kills, 25% headshot. And I have to say that even though map number 2 didn't quite go well in their hands for Batman, he'll be really happy to see that in the leaderboards, he'll be able to add even much more stats. Maybe he could, land in towards 4th or 5th place. Maybe, I'm not quite sure. But once we get to look at the stats, we'll be able to see it, right?
He's always been climbing up those ranks. Always. Because of Batman, impressive plays, but I believe being in the controller, he's been nerfed. I would love to see him being a duelist. In previous seasons, he was a duelist for the entire team. He's been doing phenomenal. Even being a controller, he's managing to do over 3.5k damage.
Yep.
That speaks volumes. He has engaged himself to the point where no matter what 1v1 comes through, he's going to still dish out the damage. And I would love to see the swapsies of the role.
Yeah. All in all, map number 3, just really excited though. Bind,
exactly.
There could be a lot of agent changes, right? I'm pretty sure there won't be a lot of mirror matchups, but hopefully, maybe we might see some changes in agents. I'm just really excited to see it.
But for now, guys, we're going to take a small little break. We're going to see you on the other side.
Alright folks, we are back with map number 3 between Team Amigos, and them securing map number 2 is really a good situation though for them. Opening up map number 3 Bind will be an amazing one to look at, especially in the Showdown series. So I have to say, Azura, what are your predictions? What do you think about map number 3 and what's going to happen?
Well, the way map number 2 has gone for the likes of ZEROFRAGS, they were inching close to victory, but it's just that, right? So close yet so far. So that was the situation that they went through, and I'm hoping that they can take that control towards the third map, in the map of Bind. But looking at the way Amigos is also going forward, they're already feeling that heat, they're feeling the confidence in them, and that's how they could manage to squeeze their own map. Else it was all gone in tatters. But okay, we could see something big. It can be a tie. I do not know, Baba Gasta, how I can answer that question which you just asked me. Who is it going to be? I still have no idea. I thought it's going to be ZEROFRAGS who are going to seal the deal in the second map, but it turns out it's not going to be the case.
Yeah, map number 1, it was Team ZEROFRAGS who did secure map number 1. Map number 2, it's the response from Team Amigos really did shake up quite a lot. And now map number 3, we just need to wait for the agent select to determine which kind of agents would they go for. And right about now, we'll be going ahead right here and taking a look at the agents, just like I expected. A Brimstone is basically a must-have on a map like Bind, because the orbital strikes are just, there are some certain positions like lamps, like showers, where there are like tight corridors where Brimstone could use his orbital cannon strike to just get quite a lot of multiple kills from their end. So AMIGOS Esports will make sure to utilize that, followed up with the usual cipher, because you need information. So without information, how do you convert those information into kills?
Well, the lovely part about Amigos is that they're running with a dual controller. Viper, whenever she comes into the picture, we all have understood one thing: the dissection from Hookah all the way towards Shahs is a very vital thing. And in the beginning itself, the setup is going to be sublime. That's talking about being in the defense, but talking about the attack, they can isolate the entire patch heading towards the lamps area, and once they have that control, then the entire site will be under their toenails. So I'm hoping that this is going to be the same kind of execution that I've seen day in, day out from the likes of Amigos. But on the other end, it's a dual initiator coming in from ZEROFRAGS. Gecko, we all have understood, having that wingman, it gives a concussion alongside the diffuse, alongside the plant as well. And they have found weird glitches as well, where if you teleport and you already redirect the wingman to head towards site A and go for the post plant, he will still accomplish no matter how long of a path he takes. So I'm pretty impressed and intrigued at the same time how ZEROFRAGS are going to rock the setup of dual initiator. But on the other end, dual controller has always been in the picture in the map of Bind.
Yeah, and the most important part is that the first matchup itself, it's equalized. Map number 1 is done, map number 2 is done, and map number 3 is the decider map. So whoever wins map number 3 wins the first matchup for the Showdown series in the upper brackets. The winner will proceed into the next phase of the upper brackets, while the team who will lose the first matchup will go all the way down to the lower brackets, where their safety net will be removed. So if they lose another match in the lower brackets, then that means it's game over.
Exactly, and that's one thing which all teams are fearing at this point. Just give your best, that's it. That's pretty much it, man. The amount of gameplays, the amount of strategical moves which are coming through, the big 1000 IQ plays, I would expect it to come in the map of Bind, and the raise has been a constant in this particular map. The satchel packs always provides you that perfect height advantage as well, and it does not affect you in any which case. So hoping that it's going to be popped at the right spot and get that early insight. But this changes, right, of Ginola being the controller alongside talking about Batman here as well, has taken the controller's shoe. So I'm just figuring it out. If they were the duelist at this point of time, it would have been something more chaotic. But okay, guys, we're going to dive right into the picture of Bind, and this is going to be the potential third map. All of a sudden, the BO3 is feeling like a BO1.
Yeah, I mean, it is the penultimate, ultimate map, of course. It is a best of 3. We are here for the final map. Now I have to say, both these teams have given it their all, but the winner has to be decided, and it will be none other than Bind. So map number 3 is unlocked. Bind is the map, and so are the teams prepped and ready for round number 1. Pistols in play, It will resume right about now. We already get to see quite a lot of abilities being placed around from both the sides. I mean, you even have the Cypher cages, not the cages, the Cypher traps paired up with the Viper's Wall, which has been played all the way towards the vertical that goes all the way towards the spawn, the attacker's spawn, interestingly enough. But you can clearly get to see that there is a current split push being made, and F-Noob might caught up in a very bad position at the very bad time. And even with the Cypher cage helping them escape, unfortunately for Lucid, he will get caught out with that headshot that just been given advantage for Team Amigos.
Oh, no more guiding lights. No more guiding lights. Amigos. Well, situation looks dicey for them. Still heading towards the tripwire, getting the early insight on that. Hookah is not going to be clear at all. But look at them. They're using the teleport to all the way head towards side A, and because I'm Batman, he was anchoring all this time, but not for long. He's going to be taken down. Cyrax getting that opening shot, and now the defense, even though they're already there towards the side, but they're way too late.
Spike planted.
Yeah, they've already lost 2 players at the cost of no casualties.
Ooh, check
And
yo.
now once the push happens, Cyrax will be able to pick out both of them. No, both of them reloading at the same
Oh.
time. And it will be Cyrax who will pull out the first trigger. Flawless round from the side of Team Amigos. They will proceed with a huge economy boon at the second round itself. And for ZEROFRAGS, well, not a good way to be in a position, especially what just happened in the second map.
Oh, yes. Not even a single player could get a frag. All of those hidden, close-knit corners. And Amigos, the first round falling in their corner. Giving them the bonus. Judges all across from the likes of Cyrax. We all know double satchel, and he's going to enter his way towards the lamps area. That's the wait. That's the entire idea. He checks one corner, and it's Batman facing the brunt of the judge.
Even the Molotovs will force Detroit all the way from the backside. The pressure is in as the attackers claim control on the side. Spike currently not being planted just yet, I'm guessing. They're just
Lovely
trying to
satchels.
get those kills as best as possible. Yeah, Clandestine, okay, from the side to, to try to take out Juggy, which is an important sentinel being taken care of. And now they are thinking of another way to go push in towards the B side. Let's not forget, you have the teleporters from Bind, so that you'll be able to quickly get into one position towards the other. Meanwhile, Cyrax making heavy presence known towards A, providing the necessary distractions that they need to proceed with the post plan. But will it be more than enough to secure this 2v2, especially with the weapons that they have?
Oh, seems impossible. HP is one of the things that they need to worry. Clandestine way too low on HP. It's a 2v2, potentially can be clutched. The Dizzy needs to be on point, but before he could launch his Dizzy, he's been taken down. F-Noob, we all have seen him deliver rounds after rounds. Now all he has to do is fake it out. Has his cams, but he could not do it. Neko knew it. At the right time, the Guardian Angel will shine light upon him and give the second round. Amigos, they're on a prowl, but ZEROFRAGS, thanks to the previous round's commitment, they for sure will have good amount of buys, and the confidence is gonna soar up to the sky.
Absolutely. Especially when you have a weapon like Guardian, in which it has high penetration towards, a certain areas in which you could head in for a specific wall bang, is such a great weapon to have, especially on the second round. So currently, I believe we might have a little bit of a tech pause once again from the side of ZEROFRAGS, hopefully. So once the issue gets sorted out, we'll be able to resume back the match. But yeah, once again, 2 rounds back to back. I have to say, ZEROFRAGS, they did have some, major issue. They did had some major mishaps, especially at the starting of the round. Of course, there is, when you have a jumping raise that quickly gets in towards the side with a judge in hand in close range, it's very difficult to, react and understand exactly what's going on. And especially having a moving target that's flying around like it's a mini guiding light, it's very difficult to get those headshots. So being able to provide not only just a distraction, but being able to get those important picks. Cyrax has just did an amazing job, and making sure that for the side of Team Amigos, even though that they have a lot of major mishaps in the middle of the round, they did eventually recover back at the end of it. So 2-0, ZEROFRAGS once again for Batman, Detroit, Clandestine. Clandestine did end up getting 2 kills, but it still wasn't enough. The pressure was too much, and for Zero Frags, it was difficult.
Hoping for the best. Zero frags. It's get the round or go home. And in either of which case, they need to perform. This is their buy round. In the previous one, they did not even invest in any of those weapons except for a Sheriff or 2. That's pretty much it. But other than that, you could see the money flowing in. This is the deciding round. Whether Amigos, they're going to head towards a 4-0, or it's going to be Zero Frags getting the 3rd round onto their name, the scoreline of 2-1. But now every single one of them is chilling. They're like the chill guys, waiting for the tech pause to be unleashed. The moment it gets done, wait, that's Ginola. Ginola's just having a laugh there. Conversations always needs to keep flowing, right? That's how you can maintain that perfect synergy with the entire team. And Amigos has been one of those teams who have stuck together in multiple seasons and tournaments.
I mean, the best thing about Tech Pause is that most of the teams, they'll just have a normal casual conversation like, you know, what you had for dinner, what you had for lunch. I know dinner is already 8 o'clock, I understand that, but you know, just random conversations which are really fun to have. But the main part about it is that you always need to make sure what to think about in the next future rounds as well, right? It's fine. 2 rounds are already completed. Economy gain advantage in the hands of Amigos. Right now for Zero Frags, they have no economy. I mean, right now on round number 3, they will have their usual Vandals, but if they lose round number 3 as well, they have a decision to either go in for a force buy or go in for a full-on eco round with just Sheriffs in hand and figure out a way to get those picks as best as possible. Especially on defense for Bind, they will have major issues when it comes to their weapons, but hopefully when you have hopefully we'll have players like F-Noob, who was really dominating on the first map with the Sheriff in his hand. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see a lot of his presence being known on map number 3, but I think we will be able to find that sure enough once this tech pause comes to an end.
Just the start. And with that, guys, we have yet another factoid. ZEROFRAGS.EXE reached the upper bracket semifinals of the TEC Showdown series Season 5, facing Team Deadlift in a best-of-3 series, highlighting their growth and strategic prowess. So they have been growing, they are molding themselves to become that Tier 1 team, but it's still going to take some time. They need to make some good decisions in the middle of the game as well. For example, Ascent, where Juggy went ahead for their 1v2 and he clutched it for the team. Right after that, the entire team's morale just went down. That shouldn't have been the case because they were at the driver's seat. All of a sudden, they became the passenger princess.
Passenger Princess. Wow. Okay. Passenger Princess. Wow. Map number 2. Yeah, that's you could say that was exactly the case, because once you derail the momentum that from the side of Zero Frags had, it basically once that momentum goes out and once you witness those clutches that being the important factor of the game, you clearly get to see the entire changes that had happened from the team. Just that one single clutch is more than enough to change the entire mood of the players, saying that yes, you know what, we have a chance, we did make a clutch, and on map number 2 Ascent, we will get this W. And eventually we did get to see Amigos get that win, which eventually did lead to map number 3 Bind. And yeah, especially with the agent picks, double controller setups, we have double initiator setups from Zero Frags. So even though they might have problems, especially on defense, I'm pretty sure on attack, they will have an explosive execute, which will apply multiple types of pressures that would apply Amigos a bit of problems in the second half itself. So right now, I would say the first half is more like a survival phase for Zero Frags to see that whether if they could end up snatching at least around 4 or 5 rounds in their hands, so that hopefully in the second half they could even come much more stronger in the near future. So double controller setup, once again, like I said, It's also very powerful on defense as well because you'll be able to cut off important lines of sights, delaying time, which means that for the side of Zero Frags, they need to heavily rely on info that are currently up high. And how would you get that info? From Raze, satchel charges, instant info towards the side. You even have Cypher, just in case if the Raze won't be able to find any information, you would be able to use neural theft to be able to get those info. But in order to get neural theft, you need kills. So yeah, there's a lot of chances, a lot of opportunities where you could go around. And hopefully once the tech pause comes to an end, hopefully when Batman comes back from the side of Zero Frags, which is very crucial because we need a controller. Without the controller, it's very tough to execute the side. We'll be able to resume back the match as soon as possible, folks.
See, Amigos, they have a safety cushion in this as well. The dual controller, even though one controller goes or fades away, the other one can go ahead and get all of those frags, collect as much of ult orbs as she can or he can, orbital strike or viper's pit, both of them deadly. Crowd control is what they can do currently, but on the other end, Zero Frags, dual initiator, it does give them the early plant advantage towards default areas.
Yeah.
But after that, there's no chance or the sight for them to go ahead and hold the entire site down unless the positioning are like picture perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. Initiators, once again, like we said, very powerful on executes, but what you're going to do after post plant? In post plant, there are so many ways where it could go wrong. And yeah, pretty much I would say for Team Amigos, they have the advantage when it comes to economy in the first half itself. It really depends on how well the mid phase goes, you know?
Exactly. The mid phase. We all know in the game of chess as well, the opening is always going to be the same textbook opening. E4, or you would say it's a Queen's Gambit, but it's the mid part where once you see the opponent playing any of those moves, how do you counteract on that? The counter part. If you set your pieces perfectly, if you have that early development, things are going to fall right. And this is the place where I would say that it needs to have that perfect stance and the situation as well. So planning and plotting goes both ways. And this is the place where we all are waiting for the teams to, come back into the picture and showcase the game as well. But overall, the tech pause, it's going to take a bit more time, guys. We are soon going to get back into the picture of watching both of these teams go ham against each other. Amigos versus Zero Frags, and we still do not know who the victor is.
Yeah.
Hurts.
And let's not forget, this is the first match, right? We
Yeah.
still have a lot more matches to go. We still have our second matchup. And of course, this whole entire week will be the matches for the playoffs. So the first matchup itself, I clearly have to say map number 2 really went well. Hopefully, once we make sure that Batman heads back into the game as quick as possible, we'll be able to ensure that we could resume back map number 3 as well, which will be on bind. So currently it's 2-0. And I have to say the qualifiers that we've had for this series has also been exceptional, right? There are so many
Yes.
participants, right? Let's not forget. There are so many participants currently being, they had to, fight for the spot and they only had 8. So imagine the amount of teams that all of them had to fight against just to get into the grand stage, which is at the playoffs. So yeah,
Exactly.
like kudos to all the 8 teams for securing, especially on season 7. You also have the leaderboards, which we will give them. The top 3 of the players will receive some really good ride goodies as well. So yeah, all in all, once again, I'm just currently waiting at this point.
Contemplating, understanding, assessing what can the entire situation look like. We all are here dumbfounded because of the tech pause. And I believe because I'm Batman is soon going to be into the picture, but before all of that unfolds right in front of us, we're going to come back right at us and understand more onto what is going to happen. And yeah, the speculations will keep going on until unless either of us become Doctor Strange.
Basically, we're just doing predictions at this point, so hence the name Doctor Strange, right? We're just trying
No,
to
we're
find.
finding possibilities.
Yeah. I believe.
Oh no.
Oh no, no.
All right. Guys, we have a sad news. It's going to be a forfeit coming in from Zero Frags, and it's going to be Amigos Esports who have won the third map. Unfortunately, Bind could not go more than 3 rounds, and that's pretty much it. That's the ultimate answer, the ultimate decision. 2-1 is what the scoreline is. Amigos, congratulations, you're heading forward, and Zero Frags, they're gonna go towards the bottom, and they're gonna fight yet again to prove that they are worthy contenders as well.
Yeah, it's a tough battle though for Zero Frags to be in a lower bracket situation, but they did give one hell of a fight for both on map number 1 and map number 2. But yeah, it's really unfortunate for the FF, the forfeit that had actually happened from the side. It's really unfortunate. There's nothing we can do about it because the show must go on.
Exactly.
And for AMIGOS Esports, congratulations to them.
Well, for now, there's another thing, right? We all were waiting, we all were speculating and even contemplating things, thinking that it can happen this way, that way, or either ways. But unfortunately, it went like for one thing which we never thought about. But for you guys, there are some products which you all can check out. It's pinned in the description. It's even there in the chat section. First things first, it's gonna be the Crucial's DDR5 RAM sticks, which provides 1.75 times faster performance than an average DDR4 RAM. So what are you guys waiting for? Go ahead and upgrade your PCs. Alongside, guys, we all have that perfect trend, right? The perfect duo when we talk about it. The SSDs. The way you can just carry it around and play whenever you want to. It's plug and play, guys. That's right, I'm talking about the X9 Pro SSDs, which work in a phenomenal rate alongside the performance which it provides. All you need to do is go down to the description, click on it, understand the product, and get it for yourself.
Yeah, these are currently the most top-notch products currently here from Crucial by Micron. So you're gonna get yourself some great SSD. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah,
I would take that.
Yeah,
Thank
go
you.
ahead.
Yeah, look at that. The
Anyways,
exchanges,
but yeah.
guys. This is the exchange that you all need to do.
Exactly. This is like the exchange.
From DDR4 to DDR5. And guys, SSDs, yes, it's all out there, all the informations and the insights. So all of that is just amazing. But talking about this entire set, we haven't named it just yet. So if you guys have a really good name, put it in the description below or in the chat section. We all will be thrilled to understand what you guys can decipher from all of this. But it's powered by Brainstorm, designed by Fury, and beautifully executed by the Esports Club, where you all can see the W production.
Yep. An amazing production of that too. I mean, it feels like I'm really in this world, right? A world where maybe I could get to see Cypher from around the corner.
Whoa.
Or maybe Neon from the other side. Maybe
My location is getting revealed. What do you mean?
What do you mean? Just say hi to them. I mean, no. Anyways, I mean, we're just saying hi to them. I mean, the match has already come to an end. So obviously, they're just here on the seas. They're just having a seat. They're just having a fun time. So yeah, once again, like kudos to the production team. It looks absolutely amazing. And I really cannot wait for the future matches that's going to happen from in the Showdown series as well to all the 8 teams. But yeah, first matches, Amigos, congratulations for winning the first matchup. And I have to say, for second match, it will be an amazing one to look at too.
Yeah, it's going to be right after the entire lot of it. But for now, guys, I believe this is pretty much it from our end. See you on the next stream. Stay tuned.
When are you gonna upgrade your system? Alright, let's do this.
Once there was a hunter who saw what others could not. With a magic case in her backpack, she roamed with wild abandon into the great unknown. Her gaze inescapable, her reflexes lightning fast. When armies swarmed, she went through. With eyes open wide, hands steady, holding, watching, capturing everything in sight.
The Crucial Pro DDR5 RAM kit comes with a sleek, modern look that will complement any build. But aesthetics aside, it's the performance that really matters. So let's dive into it. The default JEDEC timings are 46, 45, 45, but it does come with 2 XMP and Expo settings for those looking for a little more performance. With XMP 3.0 Profile 1, You can push the speed up to 5600 megatransfers per second. If you prefer a slightly lower speed but tighter timings, Profile 2 offers 5200 megatransfers per second at 4242 timings. We've run some benchmarks and stress tests to give you an idea of how it performs. In general, dropping the speed and tightening the timings with the second XMP/Expo profile yielded better results for us on our test system. Paired with a Ryzen 7800X 3D, we saw anywhere from a 1 to 5% performance bump depending on workloads. All in all, the Crucial Pro DDR5 64GB RAM kit by Micron is a fantastic choice for first-time builders and enthusiasts alike.